versatility in storytelling.
गिरगिट नाम ही काफी है, राइट? गिरगिट की तरह वो कलर्स, फॉर्मेट्स और रंग बदलते हैं to show us some बेहतरीन work. So, to show us some work from one of India's coolest creative hubs, please give a round of applause for Swaroop, Anuj, and Avinash from Gigit Studios.
थैंक यू। कौन सा चल रहा है? हेलो हेलो। हेलो एवरीवन, आई एम स्वरूप। आई एम अनुज। अविनाश। अविनाश। So I think you guys can. गिरगिट स्टूडियोज नाम तो सुना ही होगा, पता नहीं, बट so the journey began from NID, like many of the other speakers here. Uh, Typically, like the stories, the dorm room stories that you hear. So it was the same story for me, Anuj, Avinash. From day one, we were roommates, batchmates at NID, and इसमें एक सेलिब्रिटी फिगर भी है, लोकल टू चितकारा। इफ यू कैन सी, वो नीचे के फोटो में कोने में राइट साइड में। सो so that is Dhruv. He was also a batchmate, roommate with us. आवाज आई, आवाज आई। Yeah, so NID experience doesn't need any description. All the Diggaj log, they come to teach us. Vaibhav, PJ, all of them came for a stop motion workshop for us. और उस workshop के बाद हम लोग एक छोटी सी फिल्म बनाई, उकड़ी पुकड़ी, and that film went on to like numerous 13-14 international festivals. और सब लोगों को बहुत मजा आ गया, मिफ में जीत गया, मैनिफेस्ट में जीत गया, बहुत सारी जगहों पे इट गॉट अ लॉट ऑफ रिकॉग्निशन। तो हमको ऐसा एक कॉन्फिडेंस आ गया कि वी कैन टेल अ स्टोरी, वी कैन टेक एन आइडिया, मेक इट इनटू अ फिल्म एंड फिनिश इट। So with that seed in mind, we thought let's start a studio, and that is when Girgit took shape. The three of us, one of the first projects that we got was luckily from PepsiCo, and with a negative bank balance of 12 lakhs, जो हमारे education loans थे, we started a bootstrap studio. And we had some support from NDBI, which is like a design business incubator at NID. तो उनके छोटे से एक room से we started with computers. We had one clarity that we wanted. उस समय एनिमेशन के बूम्स और इसके बारे में बहुत सारे स्टोरीज चल रहे थे। आउटसोर्स इंडस्ट्री वाज डूइंग वेरी बिग. We were of course inspired by some of our seniors who were starting out their studios, and we were thinking कि यार हमारा niche क्या होने वाला है, like how are we going to be any different from them. And we were sure of one thing, that we wanted to be the from idea stage to the execution level, हम पूरे चीज में, पूरे process में involved रहना चाहते थे. We didn't want कि we will be given all the design brief and we are just doing the execution. So that was one clarity we wanted, we had. And of course, the kind of exposure you get at NID, you are not restricted to any one style of work, any one medium. And we just said anywhere where there is visual storytelling required, anywhere there is illustrations required, we are all game. So in the last 15 years, it has been a journey of ups and downs and different kinds of projects. Over maybe 200 odd projects we have delivered, worked with over 75 different kinds of clients across the industry, with non-profits, with corporates, with brands. So film industry में भी थोड़ा बहुत कुछ कुछ. So all of that कुल मिला के, this is a quickly play a show reel. Sorry. बस बस। सो एयरलाइन ब्रांड से लेके टॉयलेट तक सब कुछ कर दिया। सो ये सब प्रोजेक्ट्स, कमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट्स करते करते वी वर आल्सो ऑन एंड ऑफ कीपिंग टू गेट सम प्रोजेक्ट्स which carried some more meaning than just entertainment, and those were the projects where we slowly started finding our niche, and where we could exercise what we have learned at NID, which is the design process. So wherever we could, we would try to follow the human centered design process, mostly in the projects which were in the non-profit sector. Wahan pe the budgets are low, but they allow you more freedom, they allow you more time, and that and also they provide you with access to your target audience. So that helped a lot. And like UP said, that if you know your target audience, then you can create your content more precisely, and that is what we always try to do. That when we are given with a design issue, with a design problem, we try to first understand who is the target audience, we reach out to them, we interact with them, and make them part of the problem solving, make them part of the solution which we are designing for them. And then when the final output is made, they also connect with the problem, with the solution much better, because they have been a part of that journey. So one such project which I would love to talk about was this film called Pehel. It was a film which we were invited to make for women entrepreneurs of India. So GIZ is the German Association for International Cooperation. So they collaborated with Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and they were looking for pre-filmmakers from different genres, and for animation they approached us, and we had to make a short film which captures the journey or struggles of women entrepreneurs in India. So in a short span of 3 months we had to churn out a film at least 10 to 12 minutes long. And what we did as a process was, let me share first the trailer and then we can talk about it.
माँ और बेटा मुझे बोले एमबीए करो, तो हम एमबीए किया। फिर बोले जॉब करो, तो हम जॉब भी किया।
मुझे भी पढ़ाई के बाद अपना बिजनेस करना था, पर मेरे अम्मी अब्बू के लिए निकाह इम्पोर्टेंट था।
हमारी उम्र में तो हमारे दो दो बच्चे हो गए थे। मैं भी जब घर वालों से बोली कि दूसरी सब जगह भी ढाबा खोलूंगी, तो वो माने ही कोनी। सास तो थोड़ा सा गुस्सा सी होगी, और पति ने तो बात सुनी ही कोनी।
मैं खुद का स्टार्टअप करूंगी। आधे तो बताने का सोचा, लेकिन वो लोग तो अलग ही ट्रिप पे थे। वो बोले इनकम करो, शादी करो, बच्चा करो, घर बनाओ। कोई मुझे सीरियसली क्यों नहीं लेता? इसलिए कि मैं यंग और इनएक्सपीरियंस्ड हूँ, या इसलिए कि मैं एक लड़की हूँ?
फैमिली कभी कभी नहीं मानती, पर इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि वो हम पर भरोसा नहीं करती। बस हम जो देख पाते हैं वो नहीं देख पाते।
So so we began with the process by starting to interact with women entrepreneurs that we could get hold of, talking to friends, and then we got an opportunity to go to Hyderabad, where they have a cohort where they are mentoring women entrepreneurs. So we met and spoke to almost 30-35 women entrepreneurs there, understood the kind of struggles and stories of their success, and how they are trying to shape their business. We interacted with successful women entrepreneurs in Pune, and with those interactions we found those nuances of what are the pain points, what are the struggles that women entrepreneurs face when they are building their startups. One way we thought that, to finish a 10-12 minute film in just 3 months, how do we go about it? And for that, we thought the best way out would be what Britishers taught us, divide and conquer. So we thought, let's break down the film into 3-4 different segments. Let's have story of three women from different parts of the country, because that was part of the brief. They wanted to cover the eastern, southern, and western zone country, like zones of India. So we thought, let's take one women from each state and then bring their story together in one place, and each we will execute in different style and treatment. And we reached out to some design colleges. The students were looking out to do their graduation films. We said, come join us. So we helped them with each of the segments, and we had a 3D animation studio who could execute the 3D part. So each segment was handled by each student as their student film, and together we all put it together as one final film. Uh, the whole experience of working with Dipanita ji and Ashwini was awesome. They added their value into the voice acting of the characters. As part of the process at Girgit, we always do that, and this time also we did, was we contact the animation gestures and acting come alive. Yeah, and so far the film has been screened in over 30 plus cities, 77 screenings, 8,700 plus women have seen it in live events, and now it is also online, and it is being watched by women entrepreneurs. So I won't show the whole film, it's long, so you can always go to the website and see. This was another project where uh, there is the organization called Splash. They are based out of Seattle, and they work in the domain of WASH, which is water, sanitation, hygiene. And they work in India as well as in Ethiopia. Now, this was a very new kind of challenge for us, because again, being a non-profit, they didn't have exorbitant budgets, but they wanted to create content which can be used in India as well as in Ethiopia. Now, when we are designing a content like this, it looks like, okay, we have to do two sets of things. But how again we went for something like this is where the design process again helped us a lot. And all of this we were supposed to do during the lockdown. So I'll just play one film that we did for them.
This was not what she imagined when we promised her learning would be made fun. This was not what he imagined when we assured him a heightened self-esteem through education. She hoped to grow stronger when we promised her health and hygiene at school. We don't want them to spend time in a condition that is detrimental to their health and spirit.
9, 10.
We all rightly identified education to be the most essential in uplifting lives and understood the importance of hygiene, sanitation, and nutrition to ensure proper health and educational outcomes for our children. But in our focused struggle to build newer facilities and infrastructure in schools, we sometimes tend to forget that cleanliness and maintenance of the built facilities is equally important, or else all the effort and investment is lost. Yes, we all have our constraints. We might not be available to address each and every malfunction or repair every time. Schools might not have adequate resources allocated towards maintenance, lack of ground staff, and expertise. There are challenges posed by architectural constraints and sometimes shared premises. At times, the children also do not handle the facilities well. But we can begin with understanding each other to collaborate and play our parts better. We can apportion appropriate and adequate resources, ensure maintenance of facilities installed for a few years until sustainable. We together join hands for ensuring enough resources and exchanging technical solutions with schools. We must make cleanliness and maintenance a priority in schools. Children will themselves start valuing and develop ownership for the facilities and infrastructure once they see us all valuing it. If we all resolve to do our bit, together we can find sustainable solutions and create a healthy environment where kids can learn, feel confident, be safe, and stay healthier. Let's keep the promise we made and ensure a bright future for us all.
So we made the same film, we used the same animations, and we appropriated the characters to visual designs which would suit the Ethiopian audience. Uh, we also made minor changes on the context, because where we are showing in one of the cases where the girl is aspiring to become, say, a defense personnel, we changed it to become an athlete, which the client felt that is more appropriate to their context. So with those little changes, we pretty much reuse the same animation.
ተስፋ አደርጋለሁ። ስለ ትምህርት ቤት ጤናና ንጽህና ቃል ስንገባላት ጤናቸውንና መንፈሳቸውን በሚያውክ አካባቢ ላይ ብዙ ጊዜያቸውን እንዲያሳልፉ አንፈልግም።
That's it. So with this, we started doing more and more work for Splash. During COVID, we were helping them come up with communication graphics and materials which they can use in school. They came back to us to make a film on educating about menstrual health to boys, and that was a very interesting project, because understanding their socio-cultural environment, understanding their the nuances of their cultural nuances, and then building a script sitting here in India uh, needed the kind of maturity to understand how to deal a subject as delicate as that. And then they came back to us with another very interesting project. That time COVID was fully hit, the schools were not functioning, and they were not able to reach to the children with their regular means of reaching to them with how to how to clean their hands, and how to know how what is safe drinking water and all of it. So they wanted to create some animated content that could help them. And again, we always see that how we can work around budgets and come up with solutions to clients. And in this case, we said, okay, fine, the duration of the films are longer, you have a lot to communicate, so let's make it a mix of Muppets, which is quick to shoot, easier in production, and we can complement that with some 2D animation. So these were three Muppets we built out. This was for primary school children, so we named them Taka Naka Dhim, and it was meant for a Bengal-based audience. So the three characters were taken from the rhythm names Taka Naka Dhim, which in Bengali. And what we did was, we again had to reuse and repurpose what we are building for India for Ethiopia. So we found out, okay, what are the common elements? अच्छा, वहाँ पे भी समोसा होता है, यहाँ पे समोसा होता है, so food समोसा डालेंगे. वहाँ पे they like to play football, we also like to play football. When we are showing football, we both the cultures will connect. So all these dots we mapped out, and then we made sure that we are involving them. All of them became Muppeteers for the first time, and had an amazing time and fun time shooting. I'll play one short episode. It's in Bangla, but I hope there is subtitle. So
জিতবে ইস্ট বাগান না মোহন বেঙ্গল? জিতবে মনে হয় ইস্ট বাগান না মোহন বেঙ্গল? অবশ্যই ইস্ট বাগান, কিন্তু এবার মোহন বেঙ্গল টিম বেশি ভালো।
মনে হচ্ছে ওকে আজ আর কেউ থামাতে পারবে না। একটা দীর্ঘ শট নিয়েছে, বাঁ দিক থেকে ডান দিকে যাচ্ছে, ডান দিক থেকে বাঁয়ে গেল আর গোল।
এই কি করছিস? ঠিক আছিস তো? যত সব বাজে খাবার খেয়েছিস না? উফ, কি করব, বেশি টেনশন হলে আমি খেতে থাকি। এখন খুব জোর হাগু পাচ্ছে, মনে হচ্ছে টয়লেট যেতে হবে রে। সরে যা, সরে যা শিগগির। ওইদিকে একটা টয়লেট ছিল না? না না, ওই দিকে ছিল। বাবারে, বেরিয়ে গেল বোধহয়। উফ, মাঝখান থেকে আমাদের খেলা দেখার 12টা বেজে গেল। হয়ে গেল এত তাড়াতাড়ি? দূর, টয়লেটটা খুব নোংরা ছিল, করতেই পারলাম না। তুই এত ঘেন্না করলে এসব সময় চলে? ধুর, তোরা যেন কি, সব সময় পরিষ্কার টয়লেট ব্যবহার করা উচিত। নোংরা টয়লেট জীবাণুদের আখড়া, অনেক রকম অসুখ করতে পারে। আর আমার খুব ঘেন্নাও করে। দেখ, ওইদিকে আরেকটা টয়লেট। যাক, মনে হচ্ছে এটা পরিষ্কার। লোকে কেন যে পরিষ্কার করে টয়লেট ব্যবহার করে না বুঝি না বাপু। আমাদের স্কুল অনেক ভালো এই ব্যাপারে, আমাদের টয়লেট অনেক পরিষ্কার। টয়লেট পরিষ্কার রাখা এমন কিছু বড় ব্যাপার না, শুধু ঠিকভাবে পটি সিটে বসতে হবে, ব্যবহার করে ফ্লাশ করতে হবে, এমনকি মেঝেটাও ভালো করে জল দিয়ে ধুয়ে দিতে হবে। সমস্ত ময়লা জিনিস ডাস্টবিনে ফেলতে হবে, সেটা প্যানের ভেতরে ফেললে ময়লা আটকে গিয়ে কেলেঙ্কারি হতে পারে। আর আমি তো টিচারকে নোংরা টয়লেট দেখলেই জানাই, ওনারা ঠিক পরিষ্কার করার ব্যবস্থা করেন। একদম ঠিক করিস, একবার নোংরা হতে শুরু করলেই হলো, আরো আরো নোংরা হয়ে যায় খুব তাড়াতাড়ি। হ্যাঁ, আর তখন পরিষ্কার করা আরো কঠিন হয়ে যায়। আজ আমি 3টে জিনিস শিখলাম। বল, কি কি? প্রথমত, বেশি উল্টোপাল্টা খাবার খাওয়া ঠিক নয়। হ্যাঁ। তৃতীয়ত, পেট হালকা করা জীবনের সবচেয়ে আরামের। আর তৃতীয়ত, বাইরে বা ঘরে টয়লেট পরিষ্কার হওয়া খুব দরকার, নিজেদের জন্য, সকলের জন্য। একদম।
Yeah, this was again another project that came into limelight and importance, especially after the COVID, when a lot of adolescents were forced to go online to pursue to continue their education and the regular classrooms and all of that. And we realized that, like you give a car to a 18 or a underage person and they drive on the street, it's like that has happened where we have just left our youngsters to use the internet without knowing the rules, without knowing how to navigate around it. And so then PFI, an organization based out of Delhi, they reached out to us to create a series of films for this teenage audience to help them understand this online world, what are the rules to be safe, and how to navigate around this world. So they had Farhan Akhtar as the brand ambassador from Mirth Foundation, who was supporting the cause. And when they reached out to us, they came with a 3-page presentation on how mobile phone is used amongst teenagers, how many percentage people in India are using it, and all of that. We said, but where is the brief? Like, what do we have to communicate? And they had not done any of that sort of research. So that is when we thought that, I think this is a time where we wear our designer hats. And we collaborated with Chalo Think Kare, an organization based out of Pune, and we set up some calls. That time it was COVID, so we set up online calls with the parents to try and convince them that we need access to your children, your teenagers, to understand what this online world is about and what their understanding is. And we started doing these sessions with around 35 children. We spoke over phone, over web calls, and try to understand what kind of problems they are facing. Of course, they will tell, my friend went through this and all. They will never say I experienced it. And we kind of summarized all of it and identified, okay, what are the pain points, what are the main areas where we need to talk to them about. And we split all of that into 9 topics, and we made around 9 films. uh, for the first time, again, we were trying to set up a system entirely online. We work with a very small team of around 10 designers, and we only make sure that we focus on the content design and development. But for the production, we work with production houses. So we had to give the production out to production houses. So there, and it was again a short timeline, so parallelly a lot of things had to be done. So we worked out the character designs as simple as possible, and created a clear guideline. Tony ji is here. He helped us figure out what kind of instructions need to be given out to production houses, so that we are getting the kind of quality that we want. And this was a very interesting project that we so this I'll play a short film from here.
Perfect nipa nippy. लगता है Lucky's nippy sent him her वैसे वाले pics.
Really?
Yep, 100%. कितना lucky है. मुझे भी lucky बना दो.
He wants to take their relationship to the next level. Obviously, just do it. शूज का ad है क्या कि just do it? फोटो ही तो है. Private है. Serious relationships में private stuff allowed है. Nothing remains private online. उफ, face crop कर देते हैं ना. Yes.
ये क्या है? मुझे भी lucky बना दो. क्या हुआ? भेजा नहीं.
भेजा है इसीलिए भेजा नहीं. सच बताओ, लकी की गर्लफ्रेंड की पिक्स तुमने भी देखी है ना? सो मेरा फोटो लकी देखेगा और कौन कौन देखेगा, कहाँ कहाँ शेयर होगा. आई डोंट वांट कि पूरी दुनिया मेरे ऐसे वैसे पिक्स देखे.
Calm down. बहुत ज्यादा serious हो रही हो तुम.
सीरियस तो तुम हो जाओ. आई चेक्ड, लकी के साथ साथ तुम्हारे ऊपर भी लीगल इंक्वायरी हो सकती है. फोटोज देखते देखते सस्पेंड हो जाओगे.
She is right. किसी की प्राइवेट पिक्चर्स को रखना या शेयर करना can land you in serious trouble. इन फोटोज को ना शेयर करो ना शेयर होने दो. याद रहे, इंटरनेट पर प्राइवेसी इज द बेस्ट पॉलिसी.
So these films are used across schools where PFI does quite actively. They do sessions with the children to make them aware. So far, this is housed on their Sneha AI chatbot, and so far there has been 3,20,000 plus downloads and interactions on the chatbot. Yeah. Muskan was actually one of the initial projects that we did, where we actually tasted the fun of using HCD in the process of film development. Where the Department of Women and Child Development from Himachal reached out that they are facing one of India's highest rate of female feticide, and they were trying to do all sorts of interventions at a legal level, trying to do policy level changes, but they wanted a mindset change. And they said that बच्चे हैं, उसी समय इनको कुछ समझा दिया जाए कि आगे चल के वो करें ही ना चीजें. So we said fine, but we didn't want to make a film based on our notions and understanding about the topic sitting in Pune. So we said कि हमको हिमाचल आना है, and they were generous enough. We visited Himachal, and there we interacted with school children, tried to understand what kind of content they are watching, and we spoke to villagers. A lot of information we got from villagers ki yaar, the first thing the female feticide started because of a government policy. They told us then, government trying to control population started identifying, the gender, and then it went out of hands by the time they realized the thing was already out. And this so villagers said हम तो करते नहीं है, शहरों के लोग करते हैं, towns के लोग करते हैं, because they have a limited budget and income, and they cannot have a big family. हमारे तो खेत होते हैं, उसमें तो 8 या 10 लोग भी काम करके हमारा चल जाता है. So it's not us, it's them. When we spoke to the town people, they said कि no, it's not us, ये तो villagers, उनको अनपढ़ लोग हैं, वो लोग करते हैं, हम लोग नहीं करते हैं. So anyway, when we were interacting with them, we understood a lot of nuances, and it was a process where we identified, okay, what are the probable causes, and then we structured that into a story where there is this girl who is challenging that mindset, the causes, one by one with her grandmother, and how they are battling it out, and how a behavior change happens within the grandma. Again, I would refrain from sharing the film. It's 20 minutes long, but do watch it. It's loved online with over 4 million views on a government platform. So जब भी whenever we don't have projects, we are feeling demotivated, हम जाके थोड़े comments पढ़ लेते हैं उस पे, तो we feel charged up. So So I'm just sharing all the socially relevant projects we did, because commercial तो कर ही रहे हैं, उससे bread and butter चलता है. But these are the projects which are very close to our hearts. This was a project which we did for an organization based out of Meghalaya, Faith Foundation, and they wanted us to make a series of films on child sexual abuse, about trauma, disclosure, child rights. And again, Meghalaya was a totally unknown territory for us. Design process makes a lot of difference, where we and they wanted a couple of mascots. So actually they wanted one, हमने एक के बदले में दो दे दिया. Our problem, but
Freedom is my right, and I will take it.
Need not be so dramatic, Hamlet.
Being dramatic is also my right.
Rights are for grown-ups.
Children do have rights.
Yes, I knew it. I want to use my right to have lots of toys and play with them all day.
You must know your rights first. That's not your right. That's your need.
If you kids would have rights, you would just use them to keep playing all day.
Well, if you see, children have lots of rights, but for convenience, rights are divided into four main rights.
First is right to survival, like the right to nutritious food, good health, love and care, be treated equally, etc.
The second is right to development, like education, support, and care. And there are rights for rest and play too. Ha ha ha.
Third is right to protection, protection from child abuse, exploitation, or in times of emergencies like armed conflicts and war, etc.
And the fourth right is right to participation, in which kids must be allowed to express and share their opinion, especially about things that affect them. Access to appropriate information, freedom of thought, language, religion, culture, and tradition, etc.
But who will ensure we get these rights?
It is the responsibility of the parents and the community as a whole.
But remember, with rights come responsibilities. For example, while it is your right to go to school, it is your responsibility to study well.
And this was another project we did for UNFPA, and they again reached out to us. They had seen the Snehe films, and they loved the way we could create content for the teenagers and on complex themes. And they said that we want to create again a set of films for our chatbot, which was called Just Ask. And for that chatbot, they wanted to house some videos on topics which were concerning adolescents and young adults, topics like puberty, menstrual health, reproductive tract infections or STIs and things like that. And one of the films was about gender identity. So again, this was a very informative kind of a zone where they had a lot of information to be given. And so we thought that, okay, let's make it interesting. Let's have interesting start in the beginning of every film. Like,
ओए होए, क्या ये अपना सन्नी है? देखो कितना लंबा हो गया है, पर तेरी मूंछें नहीं आई अब तक।
हाँ, नमस्ते आंटी।
अरे आवाज भी बदल गई, कितना छोटा सा प्यारा।
चिंता की कोई बात नहीं है सनी, तुम बस बचपन से किशोर अवस्था की तरफ बढ़ रहे हो। ऐसा तो सबके साथ होता है।
अक्सर यौवन लड़कियों में 8 से 16 वर्ष और लड़कों में 9 से 16 वर्ष की उम्र में आता है।
ये अवस्था किसी में जल्दी और किसी में देर से आती है।
ध्यान रहे, सबकी शारीरिक संरचना भिन्न भिन्न होती है, इसीलिए इसमें कुछ भी सही या गलत नहीं है।
हालांकि 16 वर्ष की आयु तक अगर किशोर अवस्था में होने वाले परिवर्तन ना दिखाई दे तो किसी स्वास्थ्य कार्यकर्ता या चिकित्सक से परामर्श लें।
अच्छा, तो चलो देखें क्या होता है किशोरावस्था में।
हमारे हार्मोन विभिन्न परिवर्तनों के साथ साथ हमारे प्रजनन तंत्र को भी विकसित करते हैं। लड़कों में लिंग और अंडकोश का बड़ा होना, लिंग से वीर्य का बाहर आना, शरीर पर बाल आना और आवाज भारी हो जाने जैसे कुछ बदलाव आते हैं।
लड़कियों में माहवारी शुरू हो जाती है, स्तन विकसित होने लग जाते हैं और कूल्हे चौड़े हो जाते हैं। उनमें अन्य परिवर्तनों के अलावा योनि से सफेद स्राव भी उन्हें दिख सकता है।
इंटरसेक्स भिन्नता वाले लोगों को किशोर अवस्था के प्रारंभ से विविध अनुभव हो सकते हैं, जो स्वाभाविक है। स्वयं को बेहतर रूप से समझने का प्रयास करें।
हॉर्मोन्स भावनात्मक बदलाव भी लाते हैं, जैसे यौन भावनाएं और रुझान। इन अनुभूतियों में कुछ भी गलत नहीं होता। विश्वसनीय एवं अनुभवी व्यक्तियों व स्कूल शिविरों में डॉक्टरों के साथ बातचीत और प्रामाणिक ऑनलाइन प्लेटफॉर्म से प्राप्त जानकारी आपको किसी भी भ्रम या समस्याओं के उत्तर देने में मदद कर सकती है। और यदि आपके मन में सवाल है तो खुल के पूछो।
So, one of the films that we faced the most difficult was the film on gender identity. It was like a
तुम्हें राजकुमार ढूंढेंगे या तुम्हें राजकुमारी चाहिए?
अरे राजकुमारी क्यों? तो लड़की है तो उसकी शादी तो किसी लड़के से होगी ना।
जो ताऊजी कह रही हैं वो सही है, पर पूरी तरह नहीं। जैसे हाथ की सारी उंगलियां एक सी नहीं होती, उसी तरह लोग भी अलग अलग तरह के होते हैं। उनकी जेंडर पहचान और यौनिक रुझान का अलग होना उतना ही स्वाभाविक है।
आमतौर पर जन्म के समय यौनांगों के बाहरी संरचना के आधार पर पुरुष या स्त्रीलिंग एक लेबल के जैसे निर्धारित कर दिया जाता है। यदि किसी के बाहरी यौनांग और भीतरी जननांग में विविधताएं हो और उन्हें निर्धारित रूप से पुरुष या स्त्री कहकर परिभाषित न किया जा सके तो उन्हें इंटरसेक्स कहा जाता है।
जेंडर पहचान हमारी अनुभूति के आधार पर महसूस की हुई अंतर्निहित भावना है कि हम स्वयं को स्त्री या पुरुष या दोनों का मिश्रण या फिर ना ही स्त्री और ना ही पुरुष महसूस करते हैं, और इस अनुभूति को हम किस प्रकार हाव भाव, पहनावे या श्रृंगार आदि से अभिव्यक्त करते हैं।
पर किसी का अपने जन्म पर निर्धारित लिंग से भिन्न जेंडर का होने का अनुभव करना बिल्कुल स्वाभाविक है। उन्हें ट्रांसजेंडर कहा जाता है।
अब यौनिक रुझान आपके किसी के प्रति यौन रूप से या भावनात्मक रूप से आकर्षित महसूस करने के बारे में है।
यौनिक रुझान कई तरह के होते हैं। अपने से अलग जेंडर की ओर आकर्षण यानी कि हेट्रोसेक्सुअल, अपने समान जेंडर की ओर आकर्षण यानी कि होमोसेक्सुअल, और अपने समान एवं अपने से भिन्न जेंडर की ओर आकर्षण यानी कि बाइसेक्सुअल इत्यादि।
खुद को LGBTQIA+ समुदाय का बताना किसी की यौनिक रुझान और जेंडर पहचान की एक वैध अभिव्यक्ति है। इसको किसी प्रकार का रोग समझकर इसका इलाज करने की कोशिश करना हानिकारक है, क्योंकि ये कोई रोग नहीं है।
हिजरा शब्द उन लोगों के समुदाय को संदर्भित करता है जिन्हें जन्म के समय पुरुष लिंग का लेबल दिया गया था, लेकिन जो पुरुषों के रूप में अपने जेंडर की पहचान नहीं करते, या जो लोग इंटरसेक्स हैं, और इसमें वे लोग भी शामिल हो सकते हैं जिनका बधिया हुआ है।
कोई हमसे या हमारी समझ से कितना ही अलग क्यों ना हो, ये बहुत जरूरी है कि हम एक दूसरे का सम्मान और समर्थन करें। और यदि आपके मन में सवाल है
तो खुल के पूछो।
Yeah, I think it is a lot to digest in one post lunch session. So there were a lot many more projects that we did. I'll spare you of that. We apart from films, we also got an opportunity to do the illustration design and book design for Kailash Satyarthi ji. He's a Nobel laureate, and yeah, amongst all this serious work, we also find some time to have a little fun with the team.
गुड मॉर्निंग। चलो काम शुरू करें। अरे बहुत हो गया काम। लेट्स टेक अ ब्रेक।
You just depends on time is there. You had the highest mountains, I've had the deepest river. You can never open it's okay. I'll take it in, but don't look down.
That's about it. Thank you. Okay, we will skip this. Okay, let's end it. So this is something we are building right now. More about it later. Okay, that's about it. Thank you, guys.
To thank the team for proving that being a Girgit in this industry is actually a good thing. We invite the amazing Pratik Sethi to felicitate.
यार मैं तो कैसे आएगा फिर विजिट करूँ यार तुझे आज हो क्या
याद है वो संडे की सुबह हम लोग दीदी की स्केच पेन, मम्मी की लिपस्टिक और पापा का न्यूज़पेपर लेके टीवी के सामने बैठ जाते थे इन दोनों को देखने, ताकि क्या पता हम भी कुछ खुराफाती बना सके।
And today they are here to answer your burning FAQs. Seriously, guys, it's a total fanboy moment for me. From Mad and FAQ on our TV screens to being right here at CHIAFF in front of us.
इनकी ट्यूटोरियल्स देख के मैंने घर की दीवारें रंगी हैं और मेरी मम्मी ने मेरे गाल। बट कीपिंग दैट असाइड, लेट्स वेलकम रॉबिन प्रतीक।
चलो पानी का ग्लास, पानी का ग्लास। Okay, yeah. Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to Mad FAQ.
Hello.
आज अगर सबने क्वेश्चंस आंसर्स अच्छी तरीके से किए तो किसी ना किसी को 1 साल की सब्सक्रिप्शन फ्री मिलेगी। तीन टोस्टर ओवन के साथ।
किस चीज की?
पता नहीं। किसी ना किसी चीज की सब्सक्रिप्शन तो डेफिनेटली मिलेगी। So this session is not planned. Sorry, I just forgot. I'm going to keep it in English also. So it's not a planned session. We just actually were told by Sanjay and the great Chitkara team that welcome guys, come to this great festival called CHIAFF
Yes.
and just show your face and smile and wave like the penguins. So we're here and we're smiling and waving and we've shown our face. So we're here and yeah. क्या करना है? Since we're in the hot seat.
Yeah, we're happy to answer
Any question?
any questions you have.
Yeah. So this is the zone. अब मैं निकाल रहा हूँ यार. वो record हो गया होगा अभी तक जो भी करना था. So yeah guys. So actually honestly speaking, just first one round of applause for all of you for taking the time out to be here. So thank you so much. It's fantastic to have so many of you young minds out here, and of course a generation of all our mentors and teachers sitting here in the same room. So it's a great one. And to top it all, I think Sanjay has not even given us a topic, so we're quite amused by just being here sitting on the hot seat.
Exactly.
And now I've got like faculty, like I've got faculties and our mentors sitting there just looking at us, going like, "हाँ बेटा, like, क्या बोल रहा है ये?" So yeah, actually, so if you guys want to do a question answer session, we can do that. We're very good to do that. If you guys want us to crack a joke, Rob can. If
Full pressure.
yeah, and if you guys want us to just do a little dance step and then exit stage right,
We
we
can do that.
also. So I probably could do that as well. So yeah, open to you all because it's a student-led session.
Let's start with the dance.
It's just, you know that used to be that कौन था यार वो exit stage right? Yeah, that's not.
Yes. Yeah, man.
I see. I have a question. How you started your journey as an artist and painter?
How I started my journey.
देखिए ना पहले तो हॉस्पिटल से बाहर आए
हाँ. कुछ वैसे ही शुरू हुआ था. I don't know यार, मैं बचपन से आर्ट में बहुत इंटरेस्टेड था. वहीं से आई थिंक जर्नी स्टार्ट हुई. आई नेवर थॉट आई वुड परस्यू इट एज अ करियर, बट लाइक हाउ एज अ किड एवरीवन एंजॉयज टू ड्रॉ, पेंट. आई यूज्ड टू डू दैट. आई यूज्ड टू लव रीडिंग कॉमिक बुक्स. उस टाइम पे जो भी कॉमिक बुक्स अवेलेबल होते थे, आई यूज्ड टू गेट देम एंड ट्राई एंड recreate characters from there, build my own characters. We had Raj comics that we used to read a lot. That whole world of storytelling was really beautiful. और उससे ही inspire होके I got into like drawing. तो उस टाइम पे जो भी अवेलेबल होता था, whether it was animation, comic books, वो देख देख के बनाते थे. And I thought one day maybe I will get into the same space और मैं भी अपनी comic books बनाऊंगा या अपनी stories आगे लोगों के साथ share करूंगा. But yeah, never thought कि ऐसा कुछ हो पाएगा. बट आफ्टर स्कूलिंग आई गॉट इनटू आर्ट कॉलेज और वहां से पूरा सीन शुरू हुआ.
कौन सा
एंड देन
वाला
एनआईडी
सीन?
हैपेंड.
कौन सा वाला सीन?
आर्ट का सीन है दोस्त.
Just clarifying.
But talking about Raj Comics, sir, एक कहानी मुझे याद है बैक इन द डे इन अजमेर में सोनी जी की नसिया में के पीछे एक बहुत छोटी सी दुकान होती थी जहाँ पे कॉमिक बुक्स मिलती थी एंड मैं छुट्टियों के लिए नानी के घर जाता था एंड जिस वहां पे जाकर लाइक एक विकु टिंचू हुआ करते थे थोड़े बड़े लड़के जो छोटे बच्चों को ऑब्वियसली देयर अ हायरार्की एंड ऑल दैट लाइक तेरे को कॉमिक पढ़नी है चल तेरे को कॉमिक पढ़ाएंगे तो वहां पे हम पीछे वहां पे गली में जाते हैं वहां पे नागराज फिर परमाणु फिर ये सब
होगा।
मिलती लाइक या डोगा एंड ऑल वहां पे पढ़ के हम लोग पढ़ते थे बोलते तुमको पता नहीं है मेरे पास ये पावर है मैं ये कर सकता हूँ so thank you so much for that also. I mean, it's a fantastic memory. Yeah. Next question.
Yep. All right. So I'd like to ask you कि आपने अपने shows को pitch कैसे किया था when you started?
यार उस चीज का तो मैं क्रेडिट नहीं ले सकता एक्चुअली ऐसा ऐसा नहीं था कि आई पिच द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मैड टू पोगो इट वाज द अदर वे अराउंड आई वाज वर्किंग विद वैभव एट दैट टाइम और काम के बाद हम लोग मेरे रूम पे जाके चिल करते थे और पार्टी करते थे तो आई मेट समवन देयर मेरे फ्रेंड सर्कल में जिसने मेरे को बताया कि लाइक उस टाइम पे हम लोग का ऐसा भी होता था ना इवन दो आई वाज वर्किंग विद वैभव अगर कुछ भी काम आता था वी यूज्ड टू लाइक टेक दैट अप लाइक फ्रीलांस जॉब्स की ताकि आपको कुछ और एक्सपीरियंस करने को मिले और कुछ पैसे बने उस टाइप से तो हम लोग एक दूसरे के साथ शेयर करते रहते थे कि यार मेरे पास ये प्रोजेक्ट आया है इफ यू वुड लाइक टू वर्क ऑन दिस कोई और आएगा तो बोलेगा देख ये काम आने वाला है वी शुड वर्क ऑन दिस टुगेदर तो हम लोग को एक दूसरे के स्ट्रेंथ्स पता थे कि व्हाट ऑल वी कैन डू कि किसका कितना पोटेंशियल है ऐसा वाला सीन तो व्हेन दिस फ्रेंड केम टू माय हाउस उसको पता था कि मेरा पर्सनालिटी कैसा है आई डेंट इवन नो कि पोगो का ब्रीफ एक्चुअली क्या था उसको क्या बोला गया था बट ही सेड यू विल रियली फिट दिस ब्रीफ यू शुड गो एंड मीट देम टेक योर वर्क एंड शो सो आई रियली थॉट दैट एट दैट टाइम दैट आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू showcase my work show my portfolio to design the show or the creatives of the show or maybe the packaging of the show या कुछ प्रोमो का काम मिलेगा कुछ एनिमेशन करने को मिलेगा उस आइडिया से मैं उन लोगों से जाके मिला था एंड देन व्हेन आई मेट देम इज व्हेन आई हर्ड कि वो लोग एक शो बनाना चाहते हैं जो कि आर्ट के अराउंड है उस टाइम में कुछ फॉर्मेट वगैरह था नहीं बहुत एक बेसिक सा आइडिया था कि क्या करना है कितने लोग होंगे कौन होस्ट होगा उसमें बच्चों का क्या रोल रहेगा वो सब उस टाइम पे सिर्फ डेवलप हो रहा था बट दे वर स्टिल लुकिंग फॉर पीपल जो कि उस शो के साथ जुड़ सकते हैं so that's how I ended up meeting them. At that time they liked my work. But when I found out कि आपको कैमरा के आगे भी रहना है and you have to show, I exited. उस टाइम पे एनआईडी के सीनियर्स थे वहाँ पे सोनल थी अर्नब था तो उन लोगों ने बोला कि नो यू शुड कम बैक एंड लाइक दे रियली लाइक द वर्क सो यू शुड कम एंड गिव एन ऑडिशन ऑब्वियसली उस टाइम तक कभी कॉन्सेप्ट पता नहीं था कि ऑडिशंस क्या होते हैं so when I went for the audition round also there were like many people all actors and most of the guys who then later I saw on TV as VJs and actors or in ads because they were like मतलब experienced लोग जिनको कैमरा फेस करना आता था उनको देख के तो मैं और भी घबरा गया था and I left but long story short, I got called back and they said, no, you have to come. So then I sat down and I worked on my own script and an idea that I developed. At that time, there was another person working with Vaibhav called Mehboob. He came down and he helped me, write that script, polish it. And then I went with that script and gave an audition where I had built some characters. मटेरियल्स तो बहुत रहता था वहां पे आपके पास वायर वगैरह लेके थर्मोकोल से
चोरी का माल है
हाँ बहुत लेता था एक और स्टोरी है मेरी चाबी एक बार रूम में रह के हम लोग बाहर आ गए थे एंड देन रात को लाइक वेब सॉरी आई एम डाइग्रेसिंग बट रात को जाके आई वाज नॉकिंग एंड देन वेब ने बोला क्या हुआ इतना रात को आके थोड़ा एल्यूमिनियम वायर चाहिए देन आई टाइड इट इन अ पोल वो स्विमिंग पूल क्लीनिंग के लिए रहता है ना उस पे लगा के चढ़ के 2 फ्लोर ऐसा अंदर विंडो से डाल के देन वी पुल्ड आउट द की तो सामान तो बहुत चुरा देते वैभव के यहाँ से No, but yeah, so I gave that audition and then I got shortlisted and I was on board. And then again, thanks to all my seniors and mentors and people at Pogo, they gave me a lot of sort of freedom and liberty to design the show, the way I wanted. So we then started working on different ideas. At that time, there was a production house called Bedi Productions. UP was working there. So I had like really amazing people who were around me to help me, guide me. So it was like a full teamwork. जहाँ से ये शुरू हुआ. And then finally we came up with like an interesting format that we thought would work. जहाँ पे मुझे भी पता लगा कि ये मेरे strengths हैं, ये सब मैं कर सकता हूँ, because again I didn't have any experience of being in front of the camera. तो उस तरह से हमने एक फॉर्मेट बनाया जहाँ पे देयर वाज लेस स्टोरी टेलिंग. इनिशियली द कॉन्सेप्ट वाज बहुत सारा स्क्रिप्ट हेवी शो होएगा, बट देन वी रिमूव्ड ऑल ऑफ दोस layers, and it was a very clean, simple, honest show where we were teaching art. We were encouraging kids to be creative and showing them like the beautiful world and possibilities of art. And that's how it sort of started. And then I started creating the show and hosting it.
From my perspective, I was like the little kid in the family. Yeah, the elder brother had already done all the hard work. So for me, it was pretty easy because the template was set in the sense that they already knew that they didn't want to go with an actor. They wanted to go with a creative person. Then Arnab and Amrish and Anjana and all these guys had gotten into this one understanding that, look, we don't need just a face. We need somebody who's very tangible with their hands and likes doing things. So for me, it was fairly easy. I was working with a production house at that time called Trigger Happy Films, and we used to do. So I was leading the design team in terms of making trailers for films. So we were working on Om Shanti Om and other large music videos and so on and so forth. So that office is also run by this gentleman called Amit Chandra, who also runs another production house called Surge. And then there were a lot of us youngins whose soul was being sucked out, daily, spending many hours there. So one of them happened to be, one of the sort of ADs on this show that they were developing called for science, and it was a science-based pitch. And they said that, अरे तू भी पागल है, मैं भी पागल हूँ, चल, हम लोग ढूंढ रहे हैं किसी को, तू कुछ बनाकर दिखा. ऐसे मैं क्या बनाऊंगा, साइंस में इंटरेस्ट है, ऑफ कोर्स, बट ये मतलब नहीं कि मैं कुछ बना दूंगा. तो उन्होंने ये ले स्ट्रॉ, ये ले थर्मोकोल, चल बता भी क्या कर सकता है. ऐसे चलो ऑडिशन में घुसते हैं. मैंने एक पेपर प्लेन बना दिया, एंड देन अमरीश रियली लाइक्ड इट. And then Ilyas, who was another rockstar deluxe production person, he came and he told me, देख रॉब जैसा ही है ना तू. So I said, नहीं मैं रॉब जैसा नहीं हूँ. So he said, ठीक है, देखते हैं. So that was my story. There was no pitching involved, but again, what he mentioned was a very important thing, that we used to have something known as the Green Light Committee. It was pretty much where everybody would come together, all the heads, all the department heads, EPs, everyone, and we just work on making the show better. So it was a massive brainstorming camp that used to happen across like 2-3 days, in which all you're doing is thinking about the show in terms of what the variables could be. So what kind of science, what kind of projects, what kind of activities, one host, two hosts, no hosts, crash, no crash, AI host, whatever, blah blah blah, permutation combination in terms of what would work the best. So that was something that really helped in terms of making sure that the kind of edutainment that we were doing was fun and was not just like boring and run the mill.
Oh, and एक main point to बताना भूल गया. They were looking for two really good looking guys.
Yeah, good looking blokes. So yeah, so that's us.
All right. Thank you for making our childhoods amazing.
In case you're mistaken.
Yeah, I went to that deep thought, no, like वो background music चल रहा था, na na na. Right. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Questions? More questions?
Yes.
We have one more there. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Neena.
We'll get to you, but just one second. First, Neena, ma'am.
Yes.
Did you imagine you would be where you are?
No, not really. But NID helped a lot. Of course, it helped a lot because, and I was just telling Hamza, who is my buddy for this whole event. We were chatting in the car, and I was telling him, he was talking about his project and stuff, and I was talking about NID days, and I was telling him this only, that is how important it is, like what NID did for us, like how it shaped us. Because he was telling us, for this project, we are making this massive poster, then we had to design our cards, then we did the buttons, then we are working on a film. In the car, he was filming like a BTS video that I'm with Rob. So I said, I know that you're doing multiple things right now, but this is going to help you later in life. and because NID did that for us. Even when we were working on our film concept ideas, we had like an amazing group of people around us, like-minded people who we could share our ideas with, amazing faculty, the resource center, all the amazing workshops that we could go to. When we were working on like stop motion stuff, even though we were making a animation film, but we had to design our own sets, make like tiny miniature costumes, props, lighting, all of that. So it was such a multidisciplinary sort of experience. And plus the poster wars that we did, all of that obviously helped. When we were designing the show, I was like, yeah, ye to sab kar rakha hai pehle se yaar. I know all of this and I can do it. That's why it became easy for me to keep generating ideas and keep developing the show for so many years because of so many things that I'd done at NID. I wasn't limited to only one style or one medium or one technique. I sort of knew most of the tools. I had thoda bahut experience of working in the wood workshop, working in, a different basically spaces. So that definitely helped. But I never thought, though I was always like this, I would spend a lot of time in the basketball court, dancing for Monsoon Fiesta. I would do all those things as well. And I never thought of starting the tribe. Yeah.
Was eating breakfast. He would be there, Rob, and we would be going to the institute, and he would be going to the. Now it's my guess.
I have a question. Not to you guys, but to Nina. Nina.
Yeah.
So Nina, I mean, you don't know them as a student. How good they were as
चुप जाना पड़ेगा चुप जाना पड़ेगा
Sorry.
Okay.
You seriously want me to answer?
I don't think Nina, you would even remember us, yeah, except like
I think
you.
बैच याद है आई डोंट नो इफ यू वर इन दैट बैच बट कोई एनिमेशन करता ही नहीं था आई यूज्ड टू थिंक यार ये लोग क्या करेगा बट सी I mean people are doing all sorts of things and I'm so proud of that yeah really
Thank you, ma'am.
Yay! Validation.
Yes.
ये उनका भी क्वेश्चन था
Sorry.
पहले हाँ she was waiting sorry
Okay, so my question is, did ever doing art for the industry change the way you see art in general, like because of the deadlines and everything?
अच्छा लगा so okay I wouldn't consider it art because I'm a designer. I'm always solving problems. Now the client comes to us with certain specific tasks that need to be done. Now whether we can fulfill that task with a solution which is art based or something which is engineered is something that we have to work with. So has it changed my opinion of art? Not really. But what is manufactured art? Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, and in my case, it's slightly different, even though I'm doing the same job, but also because I've invested so many years in the industry being in front of the camera, I have also built myself as a brand in a way. So when a lot of people, brands, clients come to me, they also know what I bring to the table. So there I have a little bit of stay of this is my style, this is what I can do, this is how I work, this is how I shoot, this is how I animate. So they are open to exploring that also. It's never okay, this is the brief and this is what you have to do for us. It's also what I can bring to the table or what my style of work is. तो उसमें थोड़ा creative satisfaction तो मिल ही जाता है when I'm doing that. So it's not just, if there's no heart in it, then तो it's just production, no. So it's important to have that too. So I am lucky that I get to work with brands who are open to give me that creative freedom and liberty. So I can really do what I want to do. I don't know if I answered the question, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It answered the question. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah.
So first of all, I like to say that I've watched you both since childhood, and I love your energy. So
Thank you. Good looking energy also.
good looking
Like,
energy, yeah.
मतलब
I,
बचपन से ही आपका टेस्ट बहुत अच्छा था
uh, so there were so many episodes of Mad and Fact. The thing is, which I like both about the both of them, that not all the episodes felt repetitive. It was like the ideas in each episode were like fresh, like different from each other, kuch hatke, like no, not anything from the previous episode. So my question is like, how would you brainstorm on it? Ki, how would you keep it fresh for the audience? Ki log pak na jaye, like.
हाँ हाँ बताता हूँ there's a team, there's an absolute unit of a team that is handpicked to make sure that we're all working towards a singular focus, a singular vision, which usually the creative director say hote, comes down to us. Of course, we're also there at some level, and then we then spread it all over. But the line of thought here was just to give you an example for the 250 odd experiments and activities that we did across the seasons of FAQ. We must have done research on at least 3,000, right? Less than whatever percentile of it made it actually on air. There were moments in which we have fought with the legal team sitting in Australia saying that मुझे ये glider बनाना
And
है.
Hong Kong.
हांगकांग नहीं, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में था. लीगल तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में बैठते थे ना, ऑस्ट्रेलिया में ईमेल भेजता है मुझे ग्लाइडर बनाना, मुझे ग्लाइडर बनाना. सो
इनसे में ज्यादा होता था ना हाइट पे इतना था। मेरे पास सेफ्टी सीजर्स थे
So, you had to really fight those battles also. Ki, look, it's okay to show it on TV, but then they were like, no, you cannot show like unregistered aircraft on national television. So those are things that we had to like really fight for. So in that sense, with all the challenges that were there in the show, it was always exciting because we had a large kitty of experiments and ideas and activities that were pretty much set up.
Yeah, similar. So we used to spend a lot of time working on a new season. Like when I would develop or work on ideas, same like he said. like कि अगर हम लोग शो में 100 projects बनाने वाले हैं तो हम लोग को 500 projects पे काम करना पड़ता था. So I would think of 500 ideas and then pitch it. First work on like whether these ideas would work or not. Figure out materials, budget wise also, like whether this fits, and then the guidelines, whether this will work for television or not, because Pogo definitely had guidelines. तो सब लोग आ जाते थे legal वाले और इसमें. So we had to do all that. And on top of that, like, it was a very big opportunity for me when I got to create the show, right? So, and I went through a lot of struggles myself to get into this field. I also come from a family where they were like, नहीं बेटा तुम्हें बड़े होके डॉक्टर बनना है, आर्टिस्ट नहीं बनना है. So I knew that अभी भी बहुत सारे लोग ऐसे होंगे जिनके पास अभी एक वो रेफरेंस पॉइंट. हमारे टाइम पे ऐसे इंटरनेट का सीन था नहीं कि you can just show that these are the possibilities, these are the institutes that you can go join. तो जब ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली तो एक ये भी था कि यार let's create a show जहाँ पे we can show different things that you can do in this field of art. So all the episodes that we designed were like, so it was thematic. All the episodes were new themes. So it would be about printmaking, about animation, about photography, about sculpture. So we covered different things, different projects. तो उसमें और मजा आता था क्योंकि आपके पास ऑटोमेटिकली नए आइडियाज होते, सो वी डिडंट नीड टू रिपीट. बट क्योंकि कई टॉपिक्स ऐसे भी थे कि जिसमें आपका एक्सपीरियंस इतना ज्यादा नहीं है, आपकी एक्सपर्टीज नहीं है, सो देन वी हैड टू सिट डाउन एंड वर्क विद पीपल हु वर द एक्सपर्ट्स इन दैट. सो अगर मेरे को एक स्कल्पचर मेकिंग पे एपिसोड बनाना है तो मेरा नॉलेज लिमिटेड था क्योंकि फाउंडेशन, आर्ट कॉलेज फाउंडेशन में स्कल्पचर्स बनाए हैं या फिर पपेट्स बनाए हैं, आर्मेचर्स बनाए, उतना ही पता था. बट अलग अलग मीडियम से, सैंड से, ये सब बनाए, तो देन वी यूज्ड टू गेट पीपल on board and spend time. Like where we used to shoot in Mud Island, we had like a really massive studio space जहाँ पे हम shoot करते थे, which was a studio floor. And on the side, we had like these big labs or workshop spaces where we used to work on different ideas and prototypes, and we would have like a team of artists working with us on different projects to see whether this will work or not. And then we would call the experts also and spend time with them to sort of understand, so that it shouldn't look fake, right? When I'm doing stuff कि ये मेरे को आता है, मैं ऐसा दिखा रहा हूँ, तो हम लोग को भी सीखना पड़ता था कई चीजें. तो वहां से ऐसा शुरू होता था, and that's why the ideas were completely different हर episode में. But it was fun.
Yeah, and it was exciting also, obviously, because you had to keep the energy up.
That you particularly fought for it, like ये होना ही चाहिए, ये नहीं हुआ तो it's like a killer idea. Any particular project you fought for?
सभी के लिए यार.
हाँ, बहुत फाइट होती है. हमने तो सीडीज
fight
तक के लिए फाइट किया है यार. मतलब मैंने ईमेल्स देखे, मेरे को 300 सीडी दे दो प्लीज. एंड लाइक माय नॉट माय हु वाज द जेंटलमैन, Rick Fernandez, like saying no. लाइक वन वर्ड रिप्लाई। यहाँ पे मेरी पूरी राम कथा लिख दी कि मेरे को किस लिए चाहिए, क्यों चाहिए, क्या करने वाला हूँ। नो।
But having said that, both the shows are really expensive shows to make. क्योंकि हम लोग जो मटेरियल यूज करते थे, प्रॉप्स यूज करते थे, जो ऑन कैमरा आपको दिखता था वो तो एक ही स्टेज दिखता था आपको, बट वी हैड टू कीप अ लॉट ऑफ स्टेजेस रेडी आल्सो बिकॉज वी नीड टू सेव टाइम ऑन द स्टूडियो फ्लोर. सो इफ यू आर मेकिंग समथिंग, अभी इसको अगर कुछ बनाना है, कोई केमिकल रिएक्शन करना है, कुछ है, तो वो ऑन द स्पॉट तो आप कुछ करोगे, बट पूरा आपने उसको टेस्ट करके रखा है, बनाया है, उसके स्टेजेस में उसको रखा हुआ है. क्योंकि अगर लाइक इफ आई एम वर्किंग विद सीमेंट और ग्लू एंड आई अप्लाई दैट, अभी हम लोग 6 घंटा रुकेंगे ना कि वो सूखेगा, तो उसके बाद नेक्स्ट स्टेज आएगा. सो यू कीप दैट स्टेज रेडी. तो उस वे में आपको हर एक प्रोजेक्ट पे बहुत you have to spend a lot on materials and costs. And same like when we used to do the bigger projects, the big pictures and stuff, then obviously like getting a car and slicing it or making an aircraft, that all costs in money. So it was very expensive. तो हमारा हर प्रोजेक्ट में फाइट होती रहती थी.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes.
You have been on the screen since most of us were kids. How do you avoid, or do you ever get typecasted into those characters that you used to play on screen?
So I am very easily, I have touchwood got a very nice knack of disappearing. He is very visible, so he can answer this question. I can blend.
Yeah, but also we weren't really playing characters. No, we were just being ourselves. Just a little more presentable for screen.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. A little more presentable. That's what he come up with.
I was exactly like this even in college, and so were you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
बाल लंबे थे बस.
बस थोड़ा hello ये करना पड़ता था because you're talking to kids.
वो थोड़ा कम था.
Yeah, now because I started in 2004-5, and after like 2 decades now, everyone is like a young adult or adult. So in that sense, I had to change the kind of content I make to cater to now the present sort of audience. So I've moved away a little bit from the kids space, and I've aged up my content and things that I make, projects that I make to cater to them. But it's interesting also because now I get to work with certain brands जो कि young adults को cater करते हैं, तो I also get to work with them. But yeah.
And I don't make science anymore. So like, I'm just having fun. Yeah. And he's teaching me Instagram,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
You just did a random live last night.
Yeah. So after having a crew which does all this social media stuff, I still am quite amused by the fact
Yeah,
of
he
what all
was
you can do.
learning while you were doing the live. ये बटन क्या है? ये like City live is on है अभी. यहीं पे सिखाना पड़ रहा है तेरे को.
I have a question, Rolf and Pratik.
Hi.
First of all, how are
Sorry.
you doing? So I just want to ask that how is you doing, first of all?
Amazing, man.
And I just want to say this that since like बचपन से FAQ ठीक है, मैं बचपन से like स्कूल से जाने से पहले I used to see you ठीक है, and you tell कि एक there was a episode कि एक बिस्किट से है ना कैल्शियम निकालना, and that robot was breaking the biscuit, right? So apart from this, everything, I just want to ask this कि मैं ना काफी बुक्स पढ़ रहा हूँ like the artist way and the Rick Rubinski the way the way of being creative act. I just simply want to ask this like what is your creative way to see life rather than like everything.
Be constantly inspired.
Okay.
I think that's one thing that we've learned with all our mentors here. Is just that find the everyday extraordinary, like the ordinary extraordinary, right? Like you just have to be inspired by everything.
So like if
So-
there is any like life may obviously you guys also face some problems like something is going on which is like disturbing your creative flow or like your workflow or your state flow basically. So how you deal with this all of things?
You know my
So
answer.
first of all, like think like a child, yeah.
Okay.
That's very important. You should not have any sort of restrictions. जब आप सोच रहे हो ना तो वो एक बहुत important होता है कि you play with the medium, experiment and explore. क्योंकि ये तो होगा ही कि you keep evolving as an artist. Like जो मैंने शुरू किया था to now, my style has changed. The way mediums have changed. हम लोग टीवी के लिए करते थे, अब डिजिटल के लिए करते हैं. It was long form, now it's short form. Storytelling has changed. तो वो सब पैरामीटर्स चेंज होते रहते हैं, बट योर थिंकिंग आई थिंक शुड नॉट कम विद एनी रिस्ट्रिक्शंस और गाइडलाइंस. जब भी आप कोई प्रोजेक्ट के लिए कर रहे हो, खुद के लिए कर रहे हो, जस्ट थिंक लाइक अ चाइल्ड. दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट. लाइक व्हेन वी वर यंगर, when we were kids, जिस तरह से हम लोग सोचते थे whether we wanted to paint the sky purple and the trees pink, we did that. We didn't like, क्योंकि जैसे अभी ये भी बोला था कि जब हमें ब्रीफ मिलता है हमें उसके हिसाब से काम करना पड़ता है, बिकॉज नाउ वी आर प्रोवाइडिंग सॉल्यूशंस. तो वो आगे जाके होता ही है, बट आई थिंक यू इफ यू एक्सपेरिमेंट एक्सप्लोर, वो इज द मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग.
थैंक यू
और वो आप करोगे तो देन आई डोंट थिंक लाइक, मेरे लिए तो होता नहीं है कि ऐसा मेजर कोई क्रिएटिव ब्लॉक आ रहे हैं या आई एम रनिंग आउट ऑफ आइडियाज.
But you just keep it always on the constant way, like
No, just keep at it, yeah. You guys are at the age of exploration.
yeah,
Just freaking explore everything. Like हमें बोला जाता था, जो मैं भी अपना चेहरा छुपा रहा हूँ, but हमें बोला जाता था कि like sketch. Fill your sketchbooks, do your art, hone your craft.
yeah.
पर मैं बता रहा हूँ कि like that is something that you should.
Yeah, this is the best time. क्योंकि अभी जितने रिसोर्सेज हैं, जितने लोग हैं आसपास, ये सब अभी आप कर सकते हो. व्हेन यू गो इन द रियल वर्ल्ड तो थोड़ा कम हो जाता है, बिकॉज आपके पास फिर जैसे प्रोजेक्ट्स आ रहे हैं उन ब्रीफ्स पे काम करना पड़ता है. यू वोंट हैव दीज मेनी पीपल अराउंड यू जिनके साथ आप आइडिया शेयर कर सकते हो या उनसे कुछ सीख सकते हो. आगे जाके वो थोड़ा सा ये सीन बदल जाता है. सो राइट नाउ यू शुड एक्सपेंड. जैसे अभी वो संजय बोल रहा था ना, मैं जब वो सुबह उठ के निकल रहा होता तो मैं जा रहा होता था. So spend as much time as you can just like playing around.
Thank you so much, and thank you for talking. Like बचपन से I was seeing you, and thanks to my friend Nikita, she's sitting over somewhere इधर उधर ही, and I'm not from this Chitkara. She just brought me कि you should come here and
Shout out to Nikita.
definitely 1000%. Her artwork is so fucking good, like really.
Uh, yes. So my question is for Rob. So first, I would like to congratulate you because I have heard that you are making a reality TV show with Tanmay Bhatt for designers.
हो गया.
Yes.
हाँ हो गया.
So I would like to ask like, what's your experience about this? Like, do you think designers should participate in this reality TV shows? Like, what is the role for designers behind this?
No, so that show is already out, and the show was Everybody Can Design, and it was basically to so Adobe has come with a Canva killer called Adobe Express, and we were just promoting that, and we wanted people who are not even designers to come on board and try and design using that. Designers का क्या role था? Actually, I was the only designer in midst of those comedians and non-designers. But वो format में यार, it was like a game show. कि उनको अलग अलग टास्क दे रहे थे हम लोग, डिजाइन टास्क, और देख रहे थे कि how they can design using this app. And basically what the app does is, it helps you sort of make better design choices. कि अगर आप एक नॉन डिजाइनर हो तो आपको पता नहीं है कि क्या क्या करना है. हमें तो ट्रेनिंग में सिखाया गया ना कि कैसे आपको एक अच्छा डिजाइन बनाना है. उन लोगों को पता नहीं है ये सब. तो since they don't have that knowledge, they are given these templates, they are given like a little bit of help. So basically was to promote that. But yeah, why not? Like यहाँ पे भी डिजाइनर्स को डाला
But
जाए.
these are other खतरनाक, मतलब खतरनाक YouTube channel which is कौन सा लॉन्ग ने शेयर किया था ना ग्रुप में. Oh my
No,
God.
that's some art show.
Art show. It's like a art reality show on YouTube. उसके ट्रांजिशन भी देखकर मुझे हेडेक हो गया था. It was so good. Like it's some next level crazy content going on, right? पोकर लगा कुछ something, right? Yeah, crazy.
पर वो देख के हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि हम लोग को एक डिजाइन शो बनाना चाहिए.
है ना, सच्ची में एक बनना चाहिए. एक करते हैं, करते हैं. Okay, we've got time out. Okay, so we're done. So time is out. Thank you so much, everyone, for पता नहीं, oh, somebody, that lady in the background is saying time out. Now she's hiding behind in the chairs.
I think it's Nikita.
Hi. I have a question that it's a very nice and unique name, MAD and FAQ. So what's the history behind this? Like ये नाम आपके दिमाग में कैसा है कि इस शो का नाम ऐसा रखता है?
पहले शो का नाम होने वाला था मैड इन इंडिया. हाँ, फिर उनको लगा बहुत लंबा है, फिर वो मैड हो गया. बट मैड वाज बेसिकली लाइक अ व्हाट यू कॉल इट, एक्रोनिम.
Yeah.
It was music, art and dance. So the concept when we were working on the format, शो का कॉन्सेप्ट ये था कि हम लोग शो में म्यूजिक, आर्ट और डांस सिखाएंगे. So the idea was to get 3 different hosts, and in fact, UP was there when we shot the pilot, जो कि show नहीं गया on air. But that pilot had 3 different hosts, one dancer, one musician, and an artist. और तीनों segments में हम लोग आर्ट, म्यूजिक और डांस सिखा रहे थे. बट देन वी रियलाइज कि थोड़ा म्यूजिक और डांस सिखाना मुश्किल है वो हाफ एन आवर फॉर्मेट में. आर्ट इज मोर विजुअल, तो वो इजीली आप सिखा सकते हो विद डिफरेंट प्रोजेक्ट्स. So then it became a more art heavy show, and then dance and music was just there to sort of complement the themes that we were picking. So if I was doing some tribal art thing, तो वो tribal music के ऊपर हम लोग थोड़ा एक segment बना देते थे, and the kids would do some tribal dance, and we would create some masks or outfits that they would wear. तो वैसा तो वो music और dance जो था वो बाद में just it was just there to complement the theme. Then it became like an art show.
For FAQ, it was fairly simple, it's frequently asked questions. So I was telling you, we had that one meeting where 3 days, everybody just jams in and just figures out what to do with the show. So this was one of the things, one of the names that had come up as part. And I think Mike Ayers was responsible for the name in itself. And then we had this massive whiteboard, जिसमें सबने अपने options वगैरह लिख रहे थे, brainstorm चल रहा था, and then they were like, that's the one that we're going to go with. So yeah, that's how we came up with it. Yeah.
And that time we had Arnab with us, and he was a genius, yaar. Like every time I would discuss ideas with him, वो मेरे और उस idea को next level पर ले जाता था. So yeah, we had like amazing people like Arnab and Shamik and working with us, and they helped.
Shamik, like the feedback. So I mean, sorry, just adding to it. Like, so the show packaging also is something for FAQ that I directed and acted in, and done the whole animation for it as well, and shot it and comped it as well. So Shamik was sitting in Hong Kong at that time, and Shamik comes up to me and he says कि तुझे वहां पे वो दिख रहा है, and there's this one small little एक धनुष मैंने हायर किया था थर्मोकॉल का, and उस धनुष के ऊपर ना बैंडिंग हो रही थी 4 पिक्सल की, आई थिंक, like you know. And Shamik was like, वो दिख रहा है तुझे? मैंने कहा क्या दिख रहा है? Then he put it on his big TV screen. He said, अब दिख रहा है. I said, हाँ दिख रहा है. So yeah, so I mean, having seniors and you know, people who are so technically sound as well, and making sure that it's not just a conceptual thing, it's also technically great was always
And
fun.
plus, they gave us a lot of freedom and control because there was a production house also who was helping. So when they would pitch ideas, Arnab would be like, huh, my grandmother can do a better job than that. Rob, what do you think? So he would always direct it to like the designers or creative people and not let them take the call. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have a question. Here.
मैं पीछे देख रहा हूँ, sounds just like UP. देखा तो UP है.
Right. So mad in FAQs in the past, and it's been a great journey. Like, the kids saw you, like, when they were still in their, like, 10th, 11th, like, years, and now they are in colleges. But Rob and Pratik see you together, like, stage like this. I mean, you guys created a brand for yourself, and I don't think nobody's been able to fill that, in this kind of a vacuum for a very long time. A few examples, but then seriously, like, you're looking at you guys as a.
I know, we're good looking guys. Thanks, you. I think that was a compliment.
Yeah, skill and talent they still might have.
Oh my God, good looks. So the question is, like, what is Rob and Pratik, the Jogalbandi, like, in the new
after
like,
marriage and FAQ.
Now in
After marriage and
kids in the
AQI.
So what can we expect from this Jogalbandi, this Ram Lakhan Jodi, or what is going to be the mad FAQs 2.0?
अभी हम लोग सोच रहे हैं हम pitch करेंगे.
वही show बन रहा है एक दिमाग में, where we're actually working on a art and science based activity.
That'll be amazing. Yes, come on.
It might be exciting. Yeah. Yes.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's really sweet. चलो पकाओ.
ओके। मैं इतना अच्छा नहीं हूँ, मुझे हॉबी है, तो विदाउट गिटार थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं हो सकता, बट आई ट्राई माय बेस्ट। आप छुपा ना सकोगे मैं वो राज हूँ, आप भुला ना सकोगे वो अंदाज हूँ, गूंजता हूँ जो दिल में तो हैरान हो क्यों, मैं तुम्हारे ही दिल की तो आवाज हूँ।
ये प्रतीक के लिए गा रहा
देखते हो मुझे, देखते हो जहाँ, मैं यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ हूँ, यहाँ रौब
हाँ,
दिल
कहाँ कहाँ
यहाँ।
थैंक्स मैन, थैंक यू सो मच। ऑन दैट नोट, अच्छा आखिरी सवाल एंड देन खत्म करते हैं।
Hi, sir.
हाय मैन।
Very big fan of you. Watching you since my childhood, and still I'm in my childhood watching you guys again. It's a dream come true for me.
Yes.
I have one question for you guys. What's the one thing or a masterpiece that you built, like spending day and nights, but it end up falling apart? And what was the reaction at the time?
Our life. It is falling apart. यार ऐसे थे कुछ कुछ प्रोजेक्ट्स थे जिसमें बहुत, बट अभी वो सब याद मत दिला यार।
So, like one last question. So one last question, silly question by the way. So,
हाँ
okay. So by the way, स्कूल जाने से पहले आप दोनों के बिना मेरा मॉर्निंग ब्रेकफास्ट अधूरा रहता था एंड थैंक्स अ लॉट, आप दोनों की वजह से मेरा मॉर्निंग ब्रेकफास्ट हो जाता था टीवी देखते देखते। सो लाइक एक सिली क्वेश्चन है, वेयर इज क्रैश? एंड सर क्रैश का कॉन्सेप्ट आपके दिमाग में कैसे आया था, या फिर आप लाइक आपके जो टीम मेंबर्स थे शो में उनके दिमाग में लाइक कैसे आया कि क्रैश हमें इंट्रोड्यूस करना चाहिए?
सो साइंस ऐसी चीज है जिसमें बहुत सारा ट्रायल एंड एरर होता है एंड इट बिकम्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू बी एबल टू शो द एरर्स ऑल्सो. And what is the best way to show an error is by something that can fall apart and be built again together without having the sort of the legal team coming and telling you कि अरे तुमने तो किसी को you harmed someone or something. So therefore the crash test dummy became like our go-to person कि कुछ भी हो जाए, कोई भी gag करें हम, we can actually mold it in such a way that if it is something which is dangerous or something that can actually add a spin to the arc of the storytelling for the episode, we could do it via crash. So that's the usage of how crash happened. And how did crash actually happen? Was in that workshop, in that 4-day workshop in which we were deciding whether we want Pratik, no Pratik, only crash, no crash, Rob. Like how are we doing this show? What are the elements that will make this show? तो ये वहां से आया था. And designing crash happened with another fantastic senior of ours called Deepak Patania. So he actually with his team, so I designed it and then he actually got it fabricated, which was amazing. So yeah. Yes, 100%. तो वही आर्ट एंड साइंस का जो भी बातचीत चल रही है उसमें कुछ करेंगे, है ना? We'll figure this out. Yeah, yeah. So वो तो एंडिंग है. हाय गाइस, मैं हूं प्रतीक और ये है रॉब, और आज हम सीखने वाले हैं चियाफ के बारे में. चलिए, लेट्स बिगिन.
एंड होता था ओनली ऑन योर फेवरेट शो. थैंक यू.
Fulfilling our childhoods and now the stage with so much color, we would like to invite Miss Neena Sabnani to felicitate Rob and Pratik.
हाँ वही. The young me right now is going like, Khale. How did you get us to change this so much? Wow. So good. Thank you so much. अच्छा यहाँ पे खड़ा भी होना हाँ 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 बीच में आ जाओ परफेक्ट थैंक यू हाँ
Again, a huge round of applause for all of them. All right, let's pivot. We love making art and we love designing, but we need to understand the systems behind it. Our next session is called Pixels and Policy.
पॉलिसी की किसको पड़ी है यार? मैं तो स्टार्ट की वीडियो गेम भी स्किप ही कर देती हूँ.
No, it is important. None of us are rich enough to get sued by Nintendo after all.
Okay, yeah, that's the point. My salary does not cover that. So, to show us how important it is to get to show us how to navigate this Bowser level boss fight and save our future Rosy Roti, we have the Industry Avengers. Manoj A. Menon, Vivek Nag, Ashish Kulkarni, Riya Arora, Nishit Thakia, and Sanjay Kimsera.
Let's welcome our experts to the stage with a huge round of applause.
Guys, hold on. Whoever is going, if you're going for a nature break, then it should be small. And please come back. Yeah.
सटा के रख भाई इतना गैप तो कौन रखता है आपसे
खेलो आ रहे हैं ना.
कितने चाहिए पाँच कितने माइक्स हो गए
एक दो चार पाँच छः छः
वो तो हो जाएंगे.
और दो उधर जाएंगे.
Rob outside for autographs.
Hello? Hello? Okay. I think we'll give it a few more minutes for people to fill in. This is probably the first time the panelists are ready and the audience are not. Let them be, let them come in. But I think what we're going to speak here right now is actually for them. So I think it's very important to have them in the room. The policies are actually for them. So let them be here to listen. Yeah, I think we can't beat that. It's a Gen Z thing, yeah. Yes. Shall we start? Okay. Okay. सब भाई लोग अंदर आ जाओ. Crowd has been hijacked by Rob, I think. Shall we get started slowly? Okay, I think, first of all, thank you so much, Chitkara, for this wonderful venue. I don't think we can beat the energy of the previous session, but we'll try our level best by delivering what's the need of the hour. What does these policies mean? And what are the policies in general? Okay. For people who are the new generation, people who want to make films, people who want to create their content in whatever format, whichever format it is. These policies are going to bring a huge difference for independent filmmakers, indie studios, and for anyone who want to make animation, visual effects, gaming, comic books, see, yes, and immersive entertainment. So, yeah, welcome to Pixels and Policies. All we've been seeing so far have been on the screen displaying content by really talented people. First of all, a big round of applause to everyone in CHIAFF working hard on the graphics. The painting, the branding has always been better every single year. Big round of kudos. Sabko de dena, theek hai? It's very important. You guys deserve a big applause. And now from the screen, we step out, and I'm super happy to introduce this wonderful panel of panelists in no order. I have my cards ready. Ria, expert in animation, VFX, gaming, and XR. I think she's worked in every single segment of the AVGC and XR ecosystem. She's been an expert in storytelling and emerging media. Fostering talent is one of your biggest thing. You've been interacting with students, you've been interacting with the new generation, also with brand partnerships and leaderships to bring the gap closer, to have them interact. Collaboration has been your word, skill development has been your forte, industry engagement has been your motto. And thank you for heading the AVGC here in Punjab. I'm really happy to have you on the panel. A big round, please, guys. Nishit sir, good to have you here. Film producer, entrepreneur, animation entertainment expert, co-founder and director of Crayon Animation, producer of the award-winning animation film Delhi Safari. I love the film, by the way. It's life coach, friend, students, and for faculty. You've been a guiding light for students and faculty how to prosper in the field of art and design. This is great. And author of My Inner Alchemy. Welcome, sir. Ashish ji, long time friend, a mentor who's always helped me personally. This has been a big journey for me. Thank you so much for being here. Pioneer in Indian animation. He's a key architect of AVGC segment in India, founder of Punaryug Art Vision, shaping the national creative policies. This is exactly why we're here. Thank you so much for being here for this one. Former CEO of Reliance Animation, being part of IP's Little Krishna, Shaktiman Animated, being with brands like Sony, Disney, Nick, long list. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. Sanjay, sir, Sanjay Kimsara, veteran educationist with 3 decades of experience. Wonderful. Design and media ed, of course. Founder of Horizon Institute of Design, president of ASIFA India, and also part of the body of ASIFA International. Thank you so much, sir. And last but not the least, my friend Vivek, head of School of Animation, Whistling Woods. Strong integration of design thinking has always been your forte. Emerging tech and AI has been your passion, and integrating that into the emerging media has always been your motto. Invested in culturally narrated narratives. I think you have a lot to talk. I think this panel is wonderful. Thank you so much. And let's put a round applause to this wonderful panel. We are here to listen about the policies. Now, talking about policies, how many of you know what this budget's color is? Do you know what this budget is all about? Orange economy. What's orange economy, guys? Do you know about that? That's a creative economy. This is the place where creativity is not a side hustle. Lumput budget, exactly. Yeah. Lumput budget. This is a place where you guys can make anything you want, and it's not no longer a talent that people would say, "Arey, ye tumhara side ka khel hai." This is not a side gig. This is your main gig. From manufacturing, we've gone to creativity. I would like to open this question no order, in generally. What do you guys want to say about this? What is the relevance of this specific time in life? I wish I would have had this because I've always worked in industries where I've been partnering with brands like big corporates, but now you can make the whole thing back in your room. What do you guys want to say? No order. I mean, I would love to hear from you. What does economy mean for us? What does this times mean for us? Ashish ji, yes, of course. Please. What does this time mean for you and for us?
Hello. First of all, thanks, Chitkara, for keeping this session. Uh, I think it's a long number of years of working has brought us to this time frame right now, where convincing government to really see that they believe in creative ecosystem, they believe in bringing in creative arts, performing arts, design, and sports at par with science and commerce is just unthinkable at one point in time. And uh, uh, like probably 2 trips a month for 20-25 years to Delhi can make things change. A lot of people used to call me mad. They said IICT would never happen. Like we were calling it National Center of Excellence.
I'm going to
Many
come to that
people,
actually.
when I coined the word AVGC in 2000, people said, nowhere in the world it's called AVGC. Why are you calling it? They wanted to remove C from there. They wanted to do a whole lot of changes. But the thing is that if you work consistently with the state and the center both, you can actually carve out a name. Because when I came into this industry from advertising, I used to be surprised to see that anybody anywhere would only understand films and the star cast of the film. They would never give, no dignity for the artist behind the scene.
Yeah, forget credit, dignity. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So there was no dignity, and that's when I thought that we should coin a word. And once in the studio in Bangalore, I coined this word and I said we should build this as a brand. And I'm very happy to see that we are in times that in any state or in the central government today, if the film industry is sitting on one side of the table, AVGC XR is on the other side of the table. And I think that's the power. When we started in 2000, we were less than 1% of the total media and entertainment industry in this country. In 2020-21, we were about 22% as AVGC XR contribution to media and entertainment. We are just about to cross 37% this year.
Wow.
And I feel in the next 5-7 years, if we play our cards well, we would be crossing close to around 40-50%, where gaming would take a bigger chunk. And I've been working closely with the JEDI, and we just had a workshop on 9th and 10th. Uh, and presently, there are 800 gaming studios in the country. And we are anticipating in next 10 years, we will have 5,000 studios, bigger and smaller.
That counts all of you in the room, okay? Those who want to be game designers, game content creators. I've been in gaming, so I know exactly how powerful it is. Thank you so much.
So the thing is that to support this ecosystem, uh, the environment at the state, because implementation is always going to happen in the states, and a direction from the center and the funding for the whole ecosystem is very critical. Nevertheless, the recognition has come when Prime Minister spoke about AVGC XR from the Red Fort, and he followed it up with 2 Mann Ki Baat, and then there were instructions that we are a champion sector, and we have to have the Create in India mission that we have written in the last 1.5 years. And only one aspect of Create in India mission was picked up for this budget. But the minister has told us from the AI Impact Summit that Create in India mission will become a reality in the next 6 months' time also. So we are hoping that that whole comes in. It's a big budget outlay for the whole industry, and right now the whole ecosystem is struggling with actually getting opportunity to create IP and take your IP to the next big level. And I think that's what we are addressing in Create in India mission by creating a huge amount of funding for people to actually create Indian IP to the global stage. I think that's one that we are really waiting for. And I think with the formation of IICT and few other initiatives and the state initiatives in particular, right now we have formed an association in 18 states. And 11 states, 7 states have active policy, 5 states, the policy is under final approval with the cabinet. But I think by the end of May, probably we might have a policy in 12 states. Some of the states are hanging because of the elections coming in those states. So
I'll take a short pause here. When we've been hearing the word policy, can we hear what exactly this policy means in layman's terms? For example, like students are here, they're very curious to know what this policy means to them when they step out of their academies and colleges. How does that help you as a filmmaker? Can we know that from any one of you? Sanjay, yeah, you, and of course, I'd love to hear from you also, Ria, because you got a very interesting point. You shared something a while back. Yeah.
So policy basically it's a how you build a ecosystem. So ecosystem is built on 3-4 areas. One of them is skill development. You need resources, so a lot of people are going to be required. Then second is infrastructure, which is one of the most important thing. Third is artists struggle in getting funding for their projects. They want to start up something and they want to get funding. So help from government in financial aspects. Then international collaborations. A lot of artists, they are not able to reach out to the right audience. So having better buyer seller ecosystem. So all in all, see, having a policy may not directly mean a lot for students except in terms of skill development, but to me, it is a feel good factor. If government is talking about this industry, that itself means that industry which was not there in place, it was in a fractured environment. Now everyone has started talking about it. So let's say times cannot be better for youngsters in particular.
Yeah.
Because what is coming up is there are so many opportunities coming up from all across, and particularly most of the students, they were not getting platforms to showcase their talent.
That's more important, a platform for them to showcase.
That's one of the most important. Now every state is active. They are doing some activities for awareness also. They are trying to build the community at regional and local levels.
Yeah.
They are trying to just like if 30, 40, 45 of us coming from different part of the country sitting here and uh, interacting with each other, interacting with students, this by itself is a big opportunity. Like I have been, like we conduct awards of excellence for years now. So under that awards of excellence at ASIFA, we have been recognizing a lot of talent from Chitkara also. So a round of applause for those students who have actually participated in such kind of activities. But I wish that more and more, because government has given crores of rupees as prizes. Earlier, these things were never happening. Now with the development which is happening from central and state levels, at least there is a buoyancy, there is a positivity, and there will be a lot which will happen in future, which is going to help the industry to get into a better shape.
I think it's a very important point for when I say student, I think we are all students for life. I mean, what I'm talking about is young professionals who are introduced to new medium. It's very important to know the power of these policies, which will help you tomorrow start your own independent game, start your own comic book studio. I think times are really, really in favor of you. Knowing this is as important as knowing how to draw anatomy and perspective in the coming times, because those were the days. Now is the time. And talking about kids who are coming from tier 3 ecosystems, like tier 3 cities, and I really would like to hear this from you, Ria. What is your opinion, especially for students and for, see, I worked in studios where there were no women animators. Now I work with a system where I've actually 40% of our staff, talent strength are women. And I'm seeing this is great. How do you see this pushing, and how do you see this to happen in the future with this policy? And this is just a general question, because I had an interaction with you. You had some great points. I think it's time for everyone to hear some of your thoughts.
Thank you so much. First of all, thank you, Chitkara, for this moment. And there was a moment when I met my mentor, Vaibhav sir, जिनको देखकर मैं इस industry में आई थी. I started my journey by watching Vaibhav sir का पूरा content, and through Ashish sir, I used to I met him, and that time also I'm wearing this pink blazer. And today it's my lucky day because my mentor is listening to me. He's sitting there, and
Same shirt.
it's the best. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. No, I don't think same shirt, but same shorts.
No,
So
Vaibhav, you've been a
thank
big
you so much,
guiding
sir.
light.
हाँ, thank you so much for being my mentor always. And sir को भी नहीं पता कि वो मेरे mentor है. But that's YouTube things. So, like, so right. So the sir was mentioning. Uh, I just make a point starting from then I'll come to this women wala thing. Cities like us still struggling. We are waiting government to invest in crores in Punjab events, and that's why we are form our association, which is Punjab ABGCXR. And yes, we also want that government should realize that they should invest in big huge event. But right now, look at the event conducting by Chitkara. We are sitting here in CHIAFF for the energy, what the colorful things we can see. So in Punjab, what I can see is the best part. People are themselves empowering each other, and they believe investing themselves. Not they are, we are not waiting for. We have so much talent in
Fine.
Punjab. We have so much talent in Punjab, and people like Sanjay ji and the entire team of Chitkara pushing so much towards those things. And 2 days back we had a summit, AVGC XRAI summit by the association only. There also we have seen, we have seen our excitement in the students meeting their favorite content creators, meeting their favorite artists coming from different cities, meeting their favorite artists of studio owners or whatever it is. So that excitement is the achievement. When we see to the point that this is our achievement, the associations feel good, because it is not like a social work. It is something which we are investing. And why we are investing? Because we really want our students to embrace themselves, and they should empower themselves. when I go to events like ASIFA and whatever other, there are so many events, big events conducting these days in Bangalore, Hyderabad, Pune, Mumbai, and whatever. So हम लोग देखते हैं कि पंजाब के स्टूडेंट्स के मतलब पानी आता है मुंह में कि हम लोग कब एक्सपीरियंस करेंगे, एंड इट्स नॉट इजी to go every time, to spend so much flight tickets and all that, और वहां जाकर attend करके आना, it's not easy. So thanks to Ashish sir and the entire team of Punjab AVGC XR that we are at least pushing the boundaries, and we are working towards that. And when it comes to the point of this women and all, see what I believe, it's not just about women, it's about all students. They should first they should be proud what they are. See, they are proud that they are doing MBBS, they are proud that they are doing CA. 8 साल लोग डॉक्टर और इंजीनियर और वट एवर डिग्रीज दे हैव वो पढ़ने में लगाते हैं, और पेरेंट्स बहुत प्राउडली अपने रिलेटिव्स को बताते हैं कि मेरा बेटा अभी डॉक्टरी पढ़ रहा है, उसको भी मत छेड़ो, अभी वो किसी फंक्शन में नहीं आएगा, और उसको 7 साल लगे 8 साल लगे, वो प्राउड मेंटेन रखते हैं। लेकिन जब बात आती है एवीजीसी सेक्टर की, एनिमेशन, वीएफएक्स, गेमिंग, कॉमिक्स, दे आर लाइक कुछ कर रहा है, छोटा मोटा सा कुछ कर रहा है। एंड उससे भी ज्यादा जरूरी है स्टूडेंट्स के लिए ये समझना दैट यू शुड बी प्राउड दैट यू आर डूइंग द एनिमेशन courses, you should be proud that you are doing the VFX courses or a comics things or a stop motion, whatever. If you are a graphic designer, a student should feel that yes, I am a graphic designer. So same applicable for the women, that they should, a girl, of course, a girl, for a girls, that they should feel proud that I am in this industry and I am going to be a animator or a designer or a editor. When you feel proud of yourself, what you are doing, parents automatically will going to believe you. And whether it is a metro cities or Punjab or whatever, पेरेंट्स का माइंडसेट सेम ही रहता है, बट यस थोड़ा सा पंजाब में माइंडसेट अलग है। लेकिन मैं खुद बॉर्न एंड बॉट अप इन दिल्ली एंड बॉम्बे हूँ, तो वहाँ कल्चर इज वॉज वेरी डिफरेंट। मैंने एकदम लड़कों की तरह जिंदगी जी है। यहाँ थोड़ी सी बाउंडेशंस हैं, लेकिन अब मैं देख रही हूँ कि खुल रही है विद इन द यूनिवर्सिटीज एंड आउटसाइड द यूनिवर्सिटीज, द चैप्टर्स आर डिफरेंट, बट स्टिल the events like this and the people like us, all of us, this policy and all these things, मेरे लिए एक वो वाला ग्राउंड है। किसी सोसाइटी में देखो कि वहाँ प्ले ग्राउंड्स नहीं होंगे ना, तो लोग आपस में मिलते नहीं है। जहाँ ग्रीनरीज होंगी, गार्डन्स होंगे, वहाँ लोग बैठेंगे, दे इंटरैक्ट, दे मेक नेटवर्क्स। सो मेरे लिए एक तरह का ये एवीजीसी का वो ग्राउंड है। इट्स नॉट अ पॉलिसी, इट्स कंप्लीट अ ग्राउंड वेयर वी ऑल कैन सिट टुगेदर, वी कैन चिट चैट, वी कैन ड्रिंक, वी कैन expand our networks, we can grow our networks, we can empower each other, and we can feel motivated by listening each other. So it's very important.
That's a good point you touched upon. I think it's as important as it is to be an artist, a designer, the way to think as a designer. It's also important unless you interact with society that is consuming it. There's no point in calling yourself a designer. You have to understand where your demo is, where exactly, who's consuming your design, who's using it, and how can I not claim my design because my design is never complete, it's going to evolve over generations. I think interaction is a very big part of it. Thanks for touching upon that. I will come to an interesting question which is always asked from my times. It's still asked upon. Now, Ashish ji, like how you have uh, you have also run studios, you work with international brands. There's always been a question about quantity versus quality. Now, there's always been a need for skill, and I fell into the trap. I served for 21 long years with brands. I understand that there's always a hustle you do at the back of your mind once you come back home कि वो कीड़ा रहता है कि कुछ करना है खुद का. How does this quantity versus quality or quality versus quantity, how you want to put it, how will this survive? How this new policy, people becoming creative, where does that industry come? How do people survive with that particular thing? Do you think they're skilled enough to do that? How do we empower people?
I think you have to be.
Hello, can you? Yeah. So I really think that there is obviously there is something about quality and quantity, because there are two important things when you run a business. You have to pay salaries at the beginning of the month, and you have to run your fires at home. So that requires money. So you need to do something that generates the billing. but you do not need to sacrifice the quality. You do not need to sacrifice your creativity. And the one of the finest way to do this is create a hybrid of do do whatever you have to do to earn the money, but with the money that you earn, I think one of the classic example, I was talking to Vaibhav today on in the flight, that one of the classic example is, you look at E Suresh. He does 100% what the client wants to do when he makes ad films, and he uses all that money to do 100% what he wants to do. So he has blended creativity of his own. He doesn't compromise. He does only what he wants to do. He doesn't care how many people see it. And when he's working for the client, he's doing 100% what the client wants. He's very honest about what you're doing. I think great kudos to Ashish, because I know he's been working for decades on this policy. Finally, we have ABGC segment called as an industry. It was not even an industry for a long time. And I think that one of the important thing, I think, is that the Prime Minister Modi had come to Waves, and with whatever fanfare and everything that was there, it shows commitment of the nation towards this segment. And also, I think one of the most important thing is that if you look at the IT segment, Infosys is the first company to capitalize human skill in their balance sheet. So I think the banks, the governing bodies, the government, if they can recognize that there is something called skill capital and human capital, I think that it can become a huge shift. And I think things are moving in that direction. That's what I think. Thank you.
Absolutely. I mean, I totally agree with you, because yeah, that age of just having quantity is gone. I totally agree. It's important to feed mouths, but it's time to also bring out the content that you always want to make. Finding fine balance. Coming back to question, because you worked a lot on the new media, and I've read the profile. You've always been dabbling with the new technology, especially AI. Now, of course, AI. A conference can never be finished without touching those two alphabets. I'm just trying to say, how do you use this, and have you ever faced that point where, okay, everyone's a creator, everyone's creative. How do you streamline your creativity in the right way, where your artistic thoughts, your designer thoughts are used in the right fashion, that you use AI as a tool to make use of it? Or do you think otherwise?
Right. Firstly, thank you to Chitkara University for inviting all of us and putting together such an amazing panel. So when I talk about my experimentations with AI, very honestly, it is still from the point of view of a teacher. It is the profession that I know best, because I think people around me, they are extremely experienced in the industry. I am not very experienced in the industry. The one thing that I've been doing for the longest time is teaching. And as a teacher, there are three sets of people that I constantly interact with. One is obviously the students. Second is the parents of the students. And the third is the alumni who have graduated and who are currently working in the industry. And the one topic that everyone will come down upon, irrespective of time, stage, age, it really doesn't matter. It is AI, and how is it really going to pervade into the lives of our students or our own lives as creatives and so on. And so I think that all of us went through that process of first having that denial stage towards AI, and then progressing forward, because it became very evident to all of us that AI is here to stay. And while there were a lot of looming questions, I think that the current policy with which the government is working with kind of answers a lot of the questions on the creative industry's stance on AI, and the fact that AI is going to be used, it is going to be leveraged, that there are going to be developments of many new workflow systems. And that is exactly why we are looking at introducing creative technology in some way or the other in the stages of schools, by creating the 15,000 content creator labs, then actually amplifying that effect at the undergraduate and postgraduate stage, and eventually bringing those workflows into the industry, so that production becomes significantly faster. Now, it really depends because I believe that AI is that kind of a landmark that at this point of time cannot be completely theorized upon. That it is extremely free flowing, and that depending on what is the content that you want to create, you can use AI at whatever capacity you require to be able to achieve the end point, the end goal, and to be able to assist in being able to achieve the deadline, achieve the quality, and so on. Very recently, in as part of my graduating semester, the current graduating semester, I was just talking to Nishit sir about that. I have a group that have created an AI film. But the point is that whenever we talk about AI film, the first thing that comes to our mind is that everything has been done from scratch using AI. But that is actually not the case. So, to be able to create this film, they first created an entire 3D animatic without any assistance of AI. The script has been written by them without the assistance of AI. And after the entire animatic was created, then they went into a green screen room and shot the performances for every single shot within the film. And then they take all of this data into AI and build an entire film around it. And this is the difference between a design student using AI and a non design student using AI. Because a non design student would do everything in AI from scratch without deliberately thinking as to whether it matches any sense of filmmaking expectation at all or not. But a design student who understands fundamentals, who understands that this is cinematic language, who understands the concept of a story and how to push forward the story, will start using AI with a more free flowing kind of a structure rather than a very rigid, I am going to type my prompt and create something kind of a structure. So yeah, that's what I think.
No, I agree with you. I really want to touch upon, and why I really touched upon AI is because tools being available right now, thanks to everyone, including Ashish Ji, I'm coming back to you here. You put a lot of effort to make sure the tools and equipments are reaching out to even the villages, setting up incubation centers. And I really want to hear more about the National Center of Excellence. Like, what was the journey like? And what is the future going to be? Because this is a big move. It's a big move putting creativity right there, opening up labs, empowering kids to let them know how they can tell their stories with the technologies available. Can you just shed some light upon it?
Yeah, so actually, this started off in 2005. I had written a white paper that time saying that India requires an IIT-IIM kind of institution for AVGC that time. XR was not there. And then I started pursuing this. That time there was a government here. Ambika Soni ji was from Mohali, and she was a minister, and she wanted to bring this to Mohali in 2009. And then PwC had made a complete project report, and Punjab government gave 19 acres of land. And then Manish Tiwari ji came as a minister, and he said, "I'm also from Chandigarh. Let's bring it to Chandigarh." Then we kept a consultation meeting with the industry, and industry said nobody will go to teach there. At that point in time, it got derailed, and then in 2014, I met Modi ji. I told him that this is what was to happen, and it has not happened. So, very first budget he announced it. We then at that point in time, 2015, KPMG was appointed. They made another project report. The tender was done. The capex was to be given by the central government. OPEX was to be given by the partner who gets the tender, and Prime Focus got it. And at that point in time, in 2017, they were likely to get the award, and Maharashtra government had given 20 acres of land. At that point in time, there was one IS officer who came and said that I am from IIT. Why should anybody do it? IIT will only do it. And then he tried it for 4 years. IIT couldn't do it. And in 2019, when I told the government that we should look at the national policy, this the the task force was formed, and that's when Apurva Chandra came as a secretary, and he with him we had done the Maharashtra policy in 2015. So he said, "What happened, Ashish? Why is it this taking so much of time?" And I said, "This is what and IIT and said, and he said, I am also from IIT Mumbai, but I am telling you, IIT will not be able to do it. We need to find a different formula. So finally, uh, Primus Partners was appointed as a consultant, and they did another project report. And then we came up with a formula that industry should own 52% and government should own 48%. And that's how the new structure has been formed. And Maharashtra government finally gave 10 acres of land because 20 acres, 7 years, nothing happened, so they took it away. The idea is that we are now becoming a distinct deemed to be university. It's a very special category of a university. And we actually are starting with 5 schools and 8 center of excellence. And the interim campus is in NFDC right now. You can go and see there. We have started with the short-term programs. We are starting with the long-term programs. We have 27, companies incubated as of now in that campus, and we are looking at about 100 plus companies getting incubated over the next 3 years' time. At the same time, the new campus construction is starting. So we are going to work on about 4 or 5 verticals. One is, of course, we are tying up with a large number of universities to give the model, curriculum, allow them to start these programs in different ways. We are going to deliver undergrad, masters, uh, and the PhDs as well. But we are also creating a polytechnic model. The kids who don't want to do 11th and 12th but do a 3 year program after 10th as a polytechnic and get a lateral entry into the second year.
How long has this all been? Like about it's like a decade and a half, like the whole process.
20 years.
20 years, 2 decades. Hats off to that. Seriously.
And then we are coming up with a complete policy advocacy in all the states and the center. And then we have set up the incubator, accelerator, and the cluster at the same time. So we have identified 300 comic book artists, and we are actually creating a cluster right now with the comic book artists, and we are defining the Indian style of comics, animation, and even the game design, so that we are able to consciously look at creating Indian stylization over a period of next 5 to 7 years. And
That's awesome.
most of the important thing is that we actually are trying to push the government to give us a research fund.
Hmm.
So that is another thing on the cards. Out of the 27 startups, we have 7 companies who have actually created a solution parallel to what you use from Autodesk or Adobe or any of these. And these Indian products are going to be looked at to be given a marketing platform to actually look at this thing. We are actually doing a beta testing for them right now. At the same time, we actually want to uh, look at the esports into a proper way. We actually are doing a fan engagement, fan management masters. We are also doing esports masters. We have created an MBA in art, media, and entertainment. So if you see the whole ecosystem, it's very differently done. We are not particularly, AI is our center of excellence, but not a school. The school is called the School of Emerging Intelligence because we are dealing with emotional intelligence, behavioral intelligence, and many other forms of intelligence apart from AI.
Okay.
So we are actually having a large number of PhDs coming into that and adding to the ecosystem of the consumer. Like, today we had this presentations and they're talking about know your audience and all. With the social media and the digital form of distribution, you can know your audience and their behavioral patterns and all. Those studies are something that we are going to actually look into, and even the design studies in terms of building the uh, Indian designs from various regions to go global from here. And uh, one critical thing that we are going to do is to really look at a hub and spoke model. So there are 7 states who have already applied for a new IICT. We will be creating 10 of them eventually, but they would be small and big. So some of them will be a full campus, some of them will be the smaller campuses where we actually work with in different states. So the whole idea is to completely enhance the quality of the the content that you create, and also create a supporting platforms, because infrastructure is just one of them. And let me tell you what the policy has now done is, if any international company has to make a decision, where should they actually put up their GCC? It's called Global Capability Center. Having a policy in India, it's not only about the feel good factor. People feel, actually, people come. And I will tell you, I had formed Abai in 2005. We were 27 studios. And when I went to Bangalore, there was not a single studio there in 2000. 2005, I founded Abai. Today, we have 480 studios.
Yeah.
We formed the Twaga with the Telangana. Before that, we did a policy for Andhra Pradesh.
Yeah.
2 years before the split happened. And we were actually struggling to get about 40, 50 members that time. Today, we have 280 members there. The studios are upwards of 400. And of course, we had Tasi, and that's why we didn't form any association in Maharashtra till it's informed. But then, with the growing need of the business side of AVGC XR, Mitka is formed, and now we are going to have even Animela is actually adding to
Yeah.
the whole ecosystem. Although each one of them to get the ground footing and making sure that it's going to be something that is going to be increasing the number of studios. We have seen the same thing in Madhya Pradesh. We have seen the same thing in West Bengal. We have seen the same thing. Orissa, when we formed an association, we were struggling to find 11 members. Right now, there are 82 members.
Mhm.
Assam is a big one. Punjab, I used to come and try to push them, and she was taking a lead all the time. But the thing is that there was nobody wanting to join. Today, the scene has changed, and the same is with Rajasthan. Today, we have formed a Gujarat association group, and we are pushing for that. We have JNK Chief Minister who came and seen the IICT. He's sending 100 students from there, and he wants the policy to be done there. So the issue is that when government thinks of making a policy, the companies who want to invest would look at whether the government looks at this industry seriously or not. And that's the positive side of the whole thing. And the co-production treaties and the co-production funding, that is still needs to be structured properly. The government might have so many different priorities, but to push your priority in is the job of the industry.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you looked at it, that this time the 15,000 schools that we are actually creating a content creation lab. Let me tell you, we had the brainstorming session and the workshop with the government on the 12th of February, soon after the budget was announced, within 12 days. And the Prime Minister had sent the mission director of Atal Tinkering Labs and Atal Innovation Labs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they are 10,000 of the labs which are done in the last 11 years.
Got it.
More than 1 crore students benefited from that. They are doing 50,000 of them right now. And they said that if 15,000 labs for you are lesser, you can take Atal Tinkering Labs and convert them into your labs. So we are now working with the Atal team as well. So the thing is that when you are implementing the creative education, we are saying that 6th, 7th, 8th grade, we will give you the curriculum, not to become an animator or a gamer, but a creative arts, performing arts, design, formative, foundational skills curriculum. You should make it compulsory for these three, like 6th, 7th, and 8th,
Mhm.
and then let the students drop chemistry, mathematics, and take this forward as a way forward for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, so that they can actually get
Or
it.
they also get the equal importance as how it never used to
Absolutely.
get.
There has
Yeah.
to be a level playing field, is
Absolutely.
what our struggle
Yeah,
has
yeah.
been.
I think the side hustle has to go off. It's very important that this has to be honored like any other profession. I'm going to change the dynamics of this panel discussion ulta basically. It's very important that this panel is actually here for you guys, for students. What these policies mean for you, how will that benefit you if you want to make your own comic book or you want to make your own game? can we have some questions from you actually? Because there's not going to be a specific Q&A session. I know this can slightly be above your head, but there's a lot of hard work that has happened for these policies to come alive. And what these mean, if you really don't want to work in corporates, but you want to set up your own studio and make your own stuff, this is the actual thing that is going to help you. So this is the right place. I would really turn the dynamics. We are here to answer. I mean, I'm here to facilitate answers. And if the front panel, the red couch, where all the professionals sitting, can we have them as mediators so that they can poke the questions from kids? Because I know they're really shy. मैं क्या पूछूं अभी? But let's see what the filmmaker in this room has to ask. How will this policy benefit me in making my film? What the game designer in the room has to ask. Because I've met at least 4 students here. They showed me WIP comic book pages. And if those people can benefit this and make their panels, we can have our own, forget manga, forget stuff. We have our own comic book history here. Everybody I know in this room, everybody in this college, everybody in various colleges are slowly going and making one panel, but they're not showing it to others. Why don't you just work for about 30 days and make a 12 pager and come out? I mean, this is the policy that will help you make it. Twist.
Yeah. Hello. So I love this panel discussion, and I got to know about what is happening in the AVGC XR, and I wanted to.
Can you hold the mic closer to your
Yeah.
mouth?
So at this stage, as a student, I am not an animation student, not a design student, but from my childhood, I've been drawing and sketching and being into design. Started my own studio, like filmmaking stuff, be it with live action or animation. How at this stage, I or any other student can benefit from these policies?
I think right now, if you have any ideas that you want to actually take it to a game level or to make it into a web series or whatever, right now we have funds available for you to actually get a seed funding, which is a grant which you don't have to return. And then there is additional fund available to you to go and pitch this idea into different markets. Right now, mostly into India. There are certain states who have created fund for you to go and pitch outside as well. And the central government is also creating a fund for people to go and pitch ideas outside. Now, this kind of opportunity was not there earlier. Now you can actually do that. If you want to incubate, you can incubate with your university, you can incubate with your state. There is Invest Punjab here, and we have submitted our draft for a policy. And right now, AVGC XR is included into the investment grants of Invest Punjab and their incubator as well. So you can actually avail that and be a part of that incubation program. If you want to come to Delhi, Gurgaon, or come to Mumbai or Bangalore or Hyderabad, you can actually join that incubation program as well. The only condition is you have to form a company there.
Yeah, I also want to add 2 days back, we had a AVGC XRAI summit where we invited a few content creators, those who are doing really well in their own whatever segments. And there was a team of Canon, those were presented about their brands or whatever. And after the sessions of both, they clubbed together and Canon ने उनको hire किया पांचों को एकदम ओपन इनवाइट किया कि आप आओ और इनवाइट के बाद वो कब इनवाइट कोलैबोरेशन में टर्न हो गया आई हैव गॉट द मैसेज इन द मॉर्निंग दैट वी ऑल ऑफ हम पांचों के पांचों लोग हायर हो गए हैं Canon will going to be cast in the upcoming advertisement and they are going to create some content creator advertisement there. Also, one of the student belongs to some, I think, Fagwara or somewhere. So he came generally to attend that summit and he met all of the expertise like you can meet here also. You just need to be confident enough to go and speak about your product and what you want to do. Just explore and he met one of the VFX artists came from Mumbai and उन्होंने उनको प्रेजेंट किया बच्चे ने उनको प्रेजेंट किया दैट दिस इज व्हाट आई एम मेकिंग इट कोई प्रोडक्ट था उनका जो उसने कॉमिक से स्टार्ट किया हुआ था एंड देयर इज अ ब्रश पेन ही इज इन्वेस्टेड दैट ब्रश पेन बहुत छोटा सा ऐसा ब्रश पेन था सबने उसको बहुत कैजुअल लिया क्योंकि जब टेक्निकली वी यू आर नॉट अवेयर इट इज लाइक अ ब्रश पेन फॉर यू बट दैट VFX आर्टिस्ट वो उस चीज को कब से ढूंढ रहे थे
ओके।
बट वो चीज़ वो आइटम ऑफ लाइक अ स्मॉल आइटम वाज़ वेरी एक्सपेंसिव। उसका भी हम एक पूरा एक वीडियो बना रहे हैं। वी विल गोइंग टू अपलोड ऑन अ पंजाबी बीजीसी एक्सआर पेज, यू कैन गो एंड फाइंड आउट। वो वहाँ पे पूरा एडवर्टाइज़मेंट हम उसका डाल रहे हैं और उनको उसमें बहुत पसंद आया उस बच्चे का थॉट एंड उन्होंने बोला आई विल इन्वेस्ट इन योर प्रोजेक्ट। ऑन हैंड, ऑन स्पॉट वो साइन हुआ है उनका और ही सेड आई विल इन्वेस्ट, यू मेक इट फर्दर। तो उसे इन्वेस्टमेंट मिल गया। तो दिस इज व्हाट पॉलिसीज एंड एसोसिएशंस आर डूइंग। एसोसिएशन विल ब्रिंग दोज ऑप्शंस फॉर यू जहाँ पर आप लोगों को आशीष सर जैसे या कोई भी एक्सपर्टाइज जो यहाँ बैठे हैं आपको पहुंचना बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा, बट these associations are able to bring those in front of you. You can meet, you can associate, and you can get collaborations. And not only for entrepreneurs, if you wanted to be in a job, वहां पर भी आपका network grow करेगा. You can present your portfolios and you can be your own favorite studio as well. हाँ?
Yeah. Yeah, especially.
What
Uh,
educate?
I'm an engineering student currently, but not being interested much into devs. I'm interested into animation.
So I am also an engineering student. I have done engineering. A lot of engineers are shifting towards design. So you can take a seed, and maybe if you are really serious about design, you can enter into any design college for post graduation. Like Pratik is sitting here, he was one of the winner of Waves Awards of Excellence. And not just that, he went to Spain also on the cost of government, and there were 51 winners from different areas of ASIFA awards. There are 33 such challenges last time. So even if you are creating some AI content, you can participate in some challenges. Even if you are creating anything related to comics, you can become part of a challenge. There is immediately from April onwards, there is a second phase of Create in India challenge which is coming up. Kaka is sitting here, he was one of the jury. So you can just check out with him that how difficult it was for him to evaluate people because there were thousands of entries. So already this these kind of things are helping students at different levels. So getting a platform that India today doing a red carpet ceremony at Geo World Trade Center by itself means a lot to a lot of students because artists generally do not get this kind of treatments in industry. If you get a red carpet welcome, that by itself is a great achievement. And today government is investing in people. That is a very positive thing. So you can always utilize all that.
Thank you very much.
Life is gone dead, but there also is a program and stuff going on. Now that's the end here. You can walk out and meet the wonderful people. Thank you so much for the wonderful panelists. Remember, that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you to our amazing guests for guiding us. And now we invite Dr. Gopal Meena to felicitate them. A huge round of applause for all of them, please. As we move towards the final leg of CHIAFF, it's time to honor a legacy that transcends generations.
We talk a lot about the new tech and latest software, but some things are just timeless. We're privileged to celebrate the lifetime achievement of Nina Sabnani. Her work in animation and storytelling is a masterclass in how to keep our culture alive through art.
Her years of teaching at various prestigious design institutions has firmly stitched her name into the fabric of Indian animation. She is the true goat of Indian animation pedagogy and art. Did you know she's been at it for more than 40 years?
40 years? Damn, I don't think I can even maintain a 40-day snap streak.
Really? I only ever see you on your phone, even in class. Anyways, coming back to our topic, let's give a standing ovation for the incredible Nina Sabnani in our special segment, Timeless Frames. I request for the Timeless Frames segment to be played on the projector, please.
मेहता की कहानी सुना देते हैं। इंडियन एनिमेशन की दुनिया में एक ऐसा ही नाम है, नीना सबनानी। एक फिल्म मेकर, एक रिसर्चर और एक टीचर, जिन्होंने अपनी जिंदगी का हर पल कहानियों को जिंदा रखने के लिए समर्पित कर दिया। फिल्म शुभ विवाह में उन्होंने मधुबनी आर्ट के रंगों के जरिए समाज के एक गहरे सच को पेश किया। ऑल अबाउट नथिंग में उन्होंने जीरो की कहानी को एक क्रिएटिव और थॉट प्रोवोकिंग नैरेटिव में बदल दिया। और फिर मुकुंद एंड रियाज, एक ऐसी कहानी जहां पार्टीशन के दर्द के बीच उन्होंने दोस्ती और इंसानियत की रोशनी दिखाई। उनकी फिल्म हम चित्र बनाते हैं भील ट्राइबल आर्टिस्ट के साथ मिलकर बनाई गई एक अनोखी रचना है, जिसे नेशनल फिल्म अवार्ड से सम्मान मिला। लेकिन नीना सबनानी जी का असर सिर्फ फिल्मों तक सीमित नहीं रहा। नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ डिजाइन और आईआईटी बॉम्बे में दशकों तक उन्होंने स्टूडेंट्स को एनिमेशन और स्टोरी टेलिंग की गहरी तालीम दी।
Our dear mentor and colleague and fellow inspirer, Nina Sabnani. You set high standards and high bar for ourselves and made sure we delivered to our best potential. I am in animation because of her.
और ऐसी ही न जाने कितनी कहानियां नीना सबनानी जी ने हमें दी है। एक ऐसा सफर जो सिर्फ सफलता की कहानी नहीं, बल्कि समर्पण, संस्कृति और कहानियों को जिंदा रखने की कहानी है। और इसी बेमिसाल सफर को आज हम दिल से सलाम करते हैं।
We would like to invite the spectacular Nina Samnani on the stage to grace us with her wisdom.
Like this. I can be seen, no? Because I'm so short. I get hidden behind. Well, thank you so much, Chiaf, and thank you, Chitkara University, especially Sanjay and Manpal. Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you all for this honor. I am overwhelmed at the moment. I'm really happy to be here, and even happier to see so many familiar faces. It has been an interesting assignment to recall my journey so far and to see what I chose to remember at this point in life. So, where should I begin? I think I'll begin with a place we all should be able to relate to in this room, which is the school. So, if I ask anybody in this room, and a lot of you are animators here, what would you, when did you think you would do animation? Probably all of you would say when I was in school. But that was not my story. I grew up in a small town in Gujarat called Bharuch, and I studied in a convent school called Holy Angels. At that time, the school did not offer secondary education, so my parents sent me to Jaipur to study at a very well known girls' school called MGD, not Apna MGD, but Maharani Gayatri Devi. It was an extraordinary school. Every morning there was an assembly where the daily news was read out. Students performed music, and we were exposed to many aspects of Indian culture. Interestingly, it was also the school my mother had wanted to attend but never could. And then something happened. My new classmates asked me a very simple question: what do you want to become in life? What do you think I answered? A hairdresser. So that was the end of my social life. I was teased, I was bullied, and I didn't really make friends until I joined the Fine Arts College in Baroda. School can be tougher than college, I can tell you that. And why I didn't become a hairdresser, well, that's another story. So joining Fine Arts in Baroda changed my life. At the time, I didn't fully realize it, but we were being taught by extraordinary artists and thinkers. They pushed us to question everything. They taught us something very important: how to see. And once you learn how to see, you cannot really unsee the world. So, for the first time, I also became aware of my own individuality. Nobody really asked me before what I thought of something till I went to college. So, naturally, I was convinced that I would become a great artist who would dazzle the world with my unique images. But there is nothing like people you respect and admire to gently burst your bubble. Out of the blue, my teacher said something quite unexpected. They said, "We don't see you becoming an artist." Instead, they believed I would make a better animator, a storyteller. I was really shocked. I had never animated anything, so I don't know how they knew this ability of mine. And I had never drawn cartoons, but they persisted. So one of my teachers, Jairam Patel, he actually even got the application form from NID for me. He said, "Either jao." I felt abandoned. Here I was, expecting to be an artist, and my teacher said, "No, no, no, you don't belong here. You please go to NID." And those days, NID was it felt very exclusive, felt very elitist to me. And I was like, oh God, I don't want to go there, you know. But I went screaming and kicking. But it completely opened the world for me. At NID, I realized something very profound. We do not live in a world centered on ourselves. We live in a world where others matter. And the other could be anyone. The energy there was electric. I mean, so many of you over here who've been in NID will agree with me that everybody worked, you know, endlessly. We often slept at 5 in the morning. In those days, we were actually, there were more teachers than students. And as you can see in that image, there are just 3 students and all the rest are faculty. That was us. And then eventually we were asked to help build a formal animation program at NID. When we joined the animation program, there was no animation program. It was a workshop for 2.5 years. We had a professor, not a professor, an animator from Disney who came to teach us. He had also taught Ram Mohan in films division, and then he could speak Hindi. He was a lovely man, Claire Weeks. But only thing is, I came from fine arts, and I really wanted. I was an intellectual. I thought I wanted to do art. And the first day in class, this gentleman arrives with a Hawaiian T-shirt, not shirt, not T-shirt, shirt with palm trees and whatnot. He was wearing a hat. He was holding a Coke bottle, and he was wearing shorts. And he came with a football, and then he bounced it around the class, and he said, "You have to start animation with a bouncing ball." And I ran to Baroda that weekend. And I said, what is this? I'm going to draw bouncing balls. Is that what I mean, after all my education, this is what I'm supposed to do? Well, but then, you know, I'm here. And then eventually, NID asked us to actually build a formal animation program. And we said, we don't know enough. So then they sent us to Europe, they sent us to UK to study what other colleges were doing. And then we had no choice but to, you know, then do something. And I never ever imagined that I would become a founding member of a program that is still so alive today. Ah, it's not over. So NID also introduced me to India's very rich artistic traditions. Shubh Viva was one of my early attempts to interpret a traditional art form, Madhubani painting, for animation. But at that time, I wasn't able to work directly with the artists. But looking back now, I can see that something very important had begun. A seed had been planted. Then I also worked with my teacher, Mani sir, as we called him, KG Subramaniam. He had created a beautiful reinterpretation of the story, The Thirsty Crow. You would have all read in school, you know, about the Thirsty Crow, but his crow drank from a straw. So I was very excited. I thought, you know, I would like to animate that. So I went all the way to Shantiniketan because he had moved there. And he said, मेरे कौवे को कोयल मत बनाना. Then only I will allow you to do it. So, but that really, you know, shaped my future because I realized something important, that every artist has a universe. And when you collaborate, you step into that universe. So, how to be invisible in that sense? You are looking at somebody else's art and then you're trying to animate that, you know, by trying to keep it intact the way it is rather than changing it. That was a learning curve for me. Much of my life in NID went into teaching, but teaching is never one way. I mean, I learned just as much from my students as they learned from me. We also worked on live projects with real clients. That was a thing in NID, that even in a classroom, we would try to bring a project from the industry so that, oh, you all are looking at your own pictures. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, you can see Deeman sitting there looking so patla and young. And during those years, we witnessed an incredible transformation. That technology changed rapidly. I mean, when we were shooting on that Oxbury camera with 35 millimeter film, and then processing it in the dark room and drying it in the lawn, and then putting it on the editing machine. All that has changed so much. And we also changed along with it. Charles, do you see yourself? With the QAR, the first technology that came was the quick action recorder, where you didn't need film anymore. You could just, shoot. Huh? Lunchbox, yes. How much we had to fight to get that dabba. Now this photograph is full of stars. I still find it so amazing that so many remarkable people were at NID at the same time. Do you recognize them? Shekhar, Virginia. So around this time, I made another. Acha, well, let them finish watching themselves. सुरेश देखो, उसके बाल भी हैं बहुत सारा. वैभव तो नीचे बैठा है, हम तो पीछे हैं, बहुत पीछे. So around this time, I made another important decision. At the age of 40, I became a student again. I went to Syracuse University to pursue my master's degree. And there I became deeply interested in new media and non-linear storytelling. When I came back, these guys were still doing the same thing. Yes. So before I go further, I must say something very important. At NID, I made lifelong friends. Remember how I told you I was bullied in school and I didn't have a single friend? Well, I wasn't very good at making friends then, but even from fine arts, I have only a handful of close friends. But NID changed that completely. It made me very gregarious. I used to sit quietly in a corner. You can imagine, okay, but I was very quiet. The friends I made are so many that I cannot even fit them onto this slide. So you are probably wondering by now, when is she going to talk about her films? No. So between 2004 and 2006, I made my first oral history film with my father. It was about his experience of the partition and the loss of a close friend. And this film changed something in me. For the first time, I felt I had discovered a language that was not borrowed, it was my own. And it also made me restless. I had spent many years teaching, but I felt I needed to do something of my own work, to look at myself and think about my life. So I became a student again and moved to IDC at IIT Bombay to pursue my PhD. Soon after, I joined the faculty because they were just beginning their animation programs. So it was like the old time, starting all over again with a new program and trying to figure out what all we should teach. So if NID helped me become a designer and teacher, then IDC helped me bring research and practice together. So those years were incredibly intense. I was making films, I was reflecting on the process, I was writing papers and books, and it was just nonstop. For me, research and practice were never separate. Each fed the other, and that became a way of working for me. So over time, my work became increasingly collaborative. I work with formally trained artists and sometimes with something less tangible, memory. Personal memory, collective memory, memory itself became a material for storytelling. Collaboration also raised important questions, questions about ethics and aesthetics. It is not enough to simply borrow another artist's visual language. One must understand the responsibility involved. How do we interpret? How do we represent? How do we create something new while respecting the original tradition? And these questions became central to my work. Just showing a little bit. So why I showed you this is I'll tell you a story. I was working with Sher Singh, the Bhil artist, and every stage of the film we were, uh, asking him, "What do you think?" So I asked him, Sher Singh, "What shall we?" It's you've seen the film. So that it's about a rooster who could have become dinner for somebody, but then he survives. So I asked him कि ये फिल्म का टाइटल क्या हो सकता है? So he said एक मोर की कहानी. मोर? इसमें मोर तो है नहीं. There is no peacock in the story. कोई बात नहीं, मैं पेंट कर दूंगा, आप उसमें डाल देना. You I will draw the peacock, you put it in. So now I said, my goodness, now I already said I'm going to do collaborative work. I'm going to respect my participants' decision, but I also owe it to my audience. If I say a peacock story, and then in the whole film there is no peacock, I'm going to be beaten up. Let's say, what is this film? There was no peacock. Where the hell did it go? So we argued and discussed, and finally we said, how about we make images? Because the whole story about the film is why the wheels paint. So he said, "हाँ, वो शानदार है." But since he had said, "I will draw the peacock for you," I thought, okay, we should use peacock. He made it. So then we put it here. So that's the peacock, which came, it was not in the actual original story, but we just put him there because we had now made that promise to him. So some of these explorations led me to work with cloth as a storytelling medium because textiles carry memory and they carry touch, labor, history. Working with cloth opened new ways of thinking about material, narrative, and image. Because just like memory, just like cloth, memory also perishes. It survives, it folds, it is silent. So then I began to see cloth as a narrator, material as a narrator, because we don't only speak with our voice, we don't only speak with our images, we don't only speak with music, but we also speak with the material that we use. So that came over time, just thinking about why am I constantly using cloth? What is it doing? And the fact that each of these stories are related to memory. So, alongside filmmaking, I also began turning my films into books. I illustrated books for publishers and began writing about illustration and visual storytelling. I also began my long engagement with the Kawa tradition from Rajasthan. I studied it from many perspectives, and that exploration is still continuing. I just finished writing an article on the Kawa yet again for the Map Museum in Bangalore. One important direction that I found, was online education. And this was pre-COVID, mind you. IIT encouraged many of us to expand our reach through online courses. I strongly believe this design education should not remain a privilege. It should become a possibility. Learning is Today is lifelong. And in fact, one question I wanted to ask the panel earlier is why is it that college education, especially the undergraduate level, why is it limited to only 23 years? Why can't older people who did not have the opportunity to learn or were busy doing something else or did not have the means, why can't they study? So I hope that the new IICTs will bear that in mind and make even undergraduate possible for people who are older. Because now it's not it's not something you learn once and that's the end of it. You need to learn all your life, and you need to learn whenever you can. I mean, the new the NEP has many nice things in it, but it still doesn't look at age. So I think that is something we need to think about, because it should, and so we looked at I think just online is not enough. It needs to be hybrid learning is what the thing is, because people will have to work and learn, because not everybody can, their parents can support them. They need to do it. Today I work with Team Animela as the festival director, while continuing to write and teach. I am associated with Srishti Manipal Institute and the UPS in Dehradun, and with IIT Hyderabad. So I feel like now with this Animila festival, we really want to make. I mean, we did that in NID, was to bring the world into the classroom and have students work on live projects. But I think one now that I am not associated, I'm free. I would like to be there for every school, and create that platform where the students meet the industry meets the talent, and that festivals like Animila and CHIAFF. I mean, look what you achieved today. The kind of presentations that we've been hearing through the day, so rich, so rich. And this we never had when we were growing up. We did not have internet. We did not have the mobile phone. We did not have so many things. So we only depended on our teachers, who would bring some things to show us in class. Today you have so many teachers, just not the people who are teaching you, but you have access to so much. But don't be not to become lazy just because you have access. But you have so much access, you have so much exposure. It's so nice. I wish I was 20 all over again, to be able to experience all this kind of things that you're exposed to now, and how hard your faculty work to make this possible for you, because I know this from experience. So thank you. Thank you for your indulgence.
Now, I am immensely honored to invite our beloved Kaka, Mr. Dhimant Vyas, to bestow the Lifetime Achievement Award to the amazing Nina Sabnani.
बस बस यही रख
पांडव प्रेम में आता ना
मत बोलो
पांडव प्रेम में
मत बोलो थोड़ी सी बोल दो क्या करना होता है बात चला रही है I think it's just very good. But it's like it's honor to take it's like my family member and by like finding this industry because of why what I have knowledge and I that time years they were taking students and I would leave. And when I met that what should I do like now in 2 years and she told me that I have one project you can join me and that was the golden moment and 2 साल उसके साथ काम किया she was giving me all this exercise जो स्टूडेंट को देते थे तो वो मेरा डबल एनआईटी कोर्स हो गया और उसके बाद जब एंट्रेंस एग्जाम हुआ देन इवन स्टिल शी हैव बीन मेरा लैंग्वेज इतना अच्छा नहीं था गुजराती सो इंग्लिश में ट्रांसलेट करके शी वाज गिविंग सो थैंक यू
And just like that, the trains are almost full. It's been an insane day of learning and excitement.
But the conversation doesn't have to end here. It's time for the high tea.
चलो guys, चाय और नेटवर्किंग का टाइम हो गया है अपने अपने फेवरेट क्रिएटर्स को पकड़ के उनकी पीठ पे बेताल की तरह चढ़ जाओ क्या पता कोई बसेरा ही दे दे
Thank you for being such a lovely crowd. I'm Ransh.
And I'm Devanshi.
We've been your hosts, and hopefully we were up to the standard that an iconic crowd like this will come. And first round of applause for all of us and for every single person who helped making this event amazing. We'll see you back here tomorrow for the second day of this incredible event that we all call CHIAFF. So sleep tight, wake up on time, and always keep creating. Thank you, guys. Please be here by 9:45 tomorrow to yet another next second but last day of chapter second edition. And I'm hoping everybody will be here. And visit me outside in the next building. The guests, the bus is ready already, but we will have a refreshed students if you want to. And by the next 20 minutes, 5:45, we should be leaving to the hotel.